What's up, Undisputed listeners? It's your boy, Shay Sharp. I wanted to tell you about my new podcast, Club Shay Shay, where we always do something before two something. Each week, I sit down with a guest for a drink and conversation, and as host and proprietor of Club Shay Shay, I've welcomed in esteemed guests such as Snoop Dogg, Floyd Money Mayweather, LeVar Ball, Isaiah Thomas, just to mention a few. Whether I'm talking to an athlete, a musician, an actor, or a lifelong friend, Club Shay Shay is a place where people share inspiring and motivational stories about their journeys to prominence. The new episode drops every Monday on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe to Club Shay Shay now and make sure you never miss a new episode. Now back to Undisputed.
Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. We've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon. Let's get to it.
Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from Los Angeles. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. Good morning. Happy Friday, guys. How we doing?
I'm doing great, Jenny. I'm doing great, great.
I told you he should have taken the night off. Your man, LeBron James.
Did he say what time?
Was he off last? Like he was way off.
No, he started
night.
good. He started really good, yeah.
Oh, but in the fourth quarter, he was about as off as from here to Detroit, Michigan.
Well, we'll talk about that. Don't worry about that. We got other stuff to talk
You're feeling good,
about.
Shannon. That's a good sign. We will get to LeBron. We'll get to the Lakers. We have plenty to get to in terms of that team. But let's talk about the Super Bowl and Shannon's guy, because Super Bowl 55 could be a make or break game for Patrick Mahomes' career. According to Tony Romo, the former Cowboys QB who will be calling the game, said, quote, "This is the biggest game Patrick Mahomes will ever play in for the rest of his career. If he loses this game, he cannot catch Tom Brady." So, Shannon, do you agree with what he had to say?
I strenuously disagree with Tony Romo. I vehemently disagree with Tony Romo. Patrick Mahomes is 25 years of age. There's so much left of his career. And this is what I don't get. Everybody is quick to dismiss if Patrick Mahomes does not beat Tom Brady, there's no way he can catch Tom Brady. Nobody ever said that about Brady. Well, if he loses one of these Super Bowls, there's no way he can catch Joe. Now, remember, Skip, he won 3, then he lost 2 before he won another one, and then he lost another one. Now, he lost 2 of those Super Bowls, 3 of those 3 Super Bowls, he lost to Eli Manning and Nick Foles. Nobody said, now, if he loses any Super Bowls, he can't catch Joe. We just, okay, he got this many, he won, okay, boom, he's better than Joe. That's what we say. Nobody said, now, if Jordan loses, he lost to Bird twice. He lost to Isaiah 3 times. He went on, won championships. He's the GOAT. I don't get why everybody tries to come up with a reason why no one can pass Tom Brady. Tom Brady lost the Super Bowl. He lost twice, back-to-back Super Bowls, to Eli Manning. He lost to Nick Foles. And in 3 of those Super Bowls he lost, Skip, he lost putting up 14 points, 17 points, and then he won a Super Bowl scoring 13 points. Joe Montana never threw an interception in the Super Bowl and never scored less than 20 points. My only problem is that why is that we're trying to come up with reasons why no one can ever, no matter what they do, catch or surpass Tom Brady. I don't look at it like that. So who's to say, let's just say for the sake of argument, Skip, Patrick Mahomes loses this game, but then he turns around and wins 4 he wins 4 Super Bowls. So in actuality, he's 5-1. Really? So I just don't get it. It just seems to me everybody is trying to put up a reason, a wall or barrier to why someone, mainly Patrick Mahomes, because he's off to such a great start, why he can't pass Tom Brady for the simple fact, well, if Brady wins, look, Patrick Mahomes can play really, really well and still lose, because we've seen that. We've seen guys play we just saw Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers really outplayed Tom Brady. But Tom Brady teams won the game because they made a play here or there, and the defense was outstanding. So we've seen this. We've seen Tom Brady play his last Super Bowl he won, Skip. He wasn't spectacular, didn't throw a touchdown, had an interception, but they won. So let's stop this notion. Let the game play out. Let's see when it's all said and done with Patrick Mahomes' career, how many Super Bowls does he have? How many MVPs does he have? And then we can get a fair assessment. But to say in year 4 that if he loses this game, he can't pass Tom Brady, I disagree with.
I am equally offended by this statement for an incredibly different reason than you just gave. I ask you, Mr. Sharp.
Yes.
After Tom Brady won his first Super Bowl in his first year of starting for the New England Patriots, did anybody anywhere on planet Earth say, oh, he's coming for Joe Montana? Did anybody think or say that?
No, because, Skip, the reasons why, because he wasn't what he is now. If he had won an MVP in the regular season, had he thrown for 4,000 or 5,000 yards, had he done that, maybe we'd have a different discussion.
He did win the MVP of that Super Bowl, but go ahead.
Skip, because what we've seen guys have outstanding. Desmond Howard won the Super Bowl. Is he a top 100 receiver in NFL history? What about Larry Brown? Is he a top 100? What about Deion Branch? So we've seen guys have outstanding games in a Super Bowl and win the MVP.
Okay, after Tom Brady won his second Super Bowl and was also MVP of that against Carolina, a shootout Super Bowl in which he put up huge numbers, did anybody on planet Earth say, uh-oh, he's coming for Joe Montana? Nobody said that.
You know why, Skip Bayless? Because you have to win regular season MVPs.
Oh.
Let me ask you a question. When Kawhi Leonard won 2 finals MVP, did anybody say he's coming for Jordan? Because he doesn't have any regular season MVPs, Skip?
No, that's not what it is.
Okay.
It's about hype. It's about the spectacular now, if I can use a recent movie title. It's about Patrick Mahomes is overhyped because he throws left-handed passes. He throws them without looking. I don't know. He throws them underhanded behind his back.
So he
is a highlight hype machine.
No substance.
One-man hype machine.
No substance.
He did win an MVP, and he played in one Super Bowl in which, by his standards, by his hype standards, he stunk in that Super Bowl. Let's just call it what it was. His QBR was 64, and he had a regular season QBR of almost 80. He was ordinary at best in that Super Bowl by anybody's standards because late third quarter, he threw an interception down 20-10, and then early fourth quarter, he threw another interception, and they're still down 20-10. And then he got away with a punt of a pass that was fair caught by Tyreek on 3rd and 15 from his 35 with 7 minutes left in the game, and they're still down 20-10, and it went for 44 yards. Tyreek had to reverse field and come back to catch it. And he got away with it, and the reason they were allowed to get away with it was that the opponent was Jimmy G, who was going in the fourth quarter 3 of 11 for a grand total of 36 yards while throwing an interception, and with 1:40 left, missing Emmanuel Sanders, who was wide open at 5 yards free of the defender at the goal line, and he missed him by 5 yards. If he completes that pass, we well might be having a different conversation right now because Patrick wouldn't be in it yet.
So what about Jared Goff and the way he played in the Super Bowl?
Okay, so what?
But see, you keep saying Jimmy G played bad, and that's why Patrick Mahomes won. What about Jared Goff playing bad? That's the reason Brady won.
Okay, but it was a defensive struggle against a Wade Phillips who has always had Tom Brady's number.
It's always an excuse why he did it.
He still pulled off a game-winning drive in which he went 5 for 5 in the middle of the fourth quarter while the game was tied 3-all and put them ahead, the winning margin 10-3.
What about a Robert Saleh defense with those 5 first-rounders at the defensive line? Nick Bosa, Buckner, Armstead. D4. So we're not going to mention that, huh?
No, it was good. I'll give you that. But it's like Tony Romo is disqualifying, rendering irrelevant Tom Brady's body of work. How can we even put Patrick in this conversation? I'm offended by that. It's like we're all going to get struck by lightning. How can you say that Patrick Mahomes projects into winning, I don't know, 6, 7 Super Bowls?
So that's the only way he can pass.
How can you say he's going to get to 10?
No.
And by the way, could I also make this point? How are we presupposing this is Tom Brady's last Super Bowl? You ready to go on record with that?
Skip. I'm just saying. So the only way he can surpass Tom Brady, he has to win more Super Bowls. He has to get to more Super Bowls because that's not the criteria we use for Jordan.
What do you mean he was 6-0 in the finals with 6 MVPs?
So let's just say for the sake of argument, Patrick Mahomes is 5-0.
Okay.
With 4 or 5 MVPs.
Okay. Well, you could start to make the case. Is he going to get there? Is he?
Did we know Jordan was going to? You see what you did? You see what you did? You guarantee Jordan was going to get there? Did you guarantee it?
No, I didn't guarantee it, but I knew it after 2. After 2, I said, I've never seen anything like this.
So you knew after 2 he would get another 4.
Yeah, I thought he might get another 8.
Man,
and if he hadn't been forced to go home and take a forced sabbatical for a while, he would have won 8 in a row. You know it, and I know
Skip,
it.
I think the thing is that when you talk about GOAT status, Skip, it's just not about championships. It's got to be a complete body of work. It's got to be regular season MVPs. It's got to be Super Bowl. It's got to be Super Bowl MVPs.
Okay.
Leading the league in passing, leading the league in passing touchdowns. Mahomes' body of work thus far, and this is why they're saying this, Skip, a 5,000, 50 touchdowns, an MVP in the regular season. He were to win this Super Bowl, Skip, I mean, and I'm not saying that if he doesn't, he still can't go on. The way he projects with 25 years of age and a young Tyreek and this team is still young. Who's to say they're not going to be back for the foreseeable future competing for these things?
Who's to say the Bucs aren't going to be back for the next, I don't know, couple of Super Bowls at least? Who's to say? Next year, going into next year, will the Bucs be favored to win the NFC?
Maybe the NFC, but will they be favored to win the Super Bowl?
I don't know. It depends what happens.
It doesn't matter.
A week from Sunday.
You already know who's going to be favored, Mahomes.
Well, it's possible, but is it possible that they're going to be favored to win the Bucs to win the NFC?
Oh, yeah, more than likely.
Right? Sure. Okay. We're not sure about where Aaron Rodgers is. Drew Brees seems like will be gone.
But who do you think is going to be favored to win the AFC?
Probably the Chiefs. Probably. Okay, on the field on Sunday night, week from Sunday night, who will have the 2 best receivers on the field?
The Chiefs.
Not even close. 15 will have the 2 best receivers. The 2, but not the 1 best, but the 2
who will have the best defense on the field?
I think it's pretty 50-50.
Oh, 50-50. A team that's gotten 7 turnovers in 3 playoff games. That's the 50-50.
Are you kidding me? Do you want me to go back through how torched this defense got all the way to the end of the year? Do you want to go
What about that? You say they boiled the boil.
You hated Atlanta at the end of the year. 3rd game from the end, that Bucs defense at Atlanta gave up 229 to Matt Ryan in the first half, and they trailed 17-0.
And then what they do the second half?
Well, Brady threw for 330.
No. No, Skip. You didn't mention Brady's numbers in the first. You said Matt Ryan. Now tell me, what did Matt Ryan do in the second half? Because you tell me there are 4 quarters to a football game. There's 2 halves. So tell me what Matt Ryan did the second half.
Okay, I don't really care about Matt Ryan, but I do care about Patrick Mahomes. But here's what I do care about. I saw with my own 2 eyes Patrick Mahomes throw for, what was it? 359 yards?
Yes.
359 in the first half?
Yes.
In the first half. Wait, I got to say that again. I can't even get the words out. 359 against the Bucs defense in the first half.
First half.
I saw Tyreek catch 203 receiving yards in the first quarter against that defense. And you asked me who has the better defense?
Tell me.
Seriously?
Okay, but see, but you also told me that Tom Brady outplayed Patrick Mahomes because he threw for 3-something in the second half, and Patrick Mahomes only had 103 in the second half. So now what? So what about the second half? They gave up 359 in the first. They gave up 103 in the second. So now what?
Well, now what? Tom Brady started to turn back into Tom Brady.
But Skip, what is that? Tom Brady was playing defense.
They controlled the ball more in the second half than they did in the first.
Well,
even then, it was still 37-23 in time of possession.
So you don't want to talk about Tom Brady and those 4 3-and-outs he had to start the game. So what?
No, because he has a hard time against Steve Spagnuolo. Do you remember what happened in a couple Super Bowls against Steve Spagnuolo?
So why are we having this discussion with him to go? He shouldn't have. Joe Montana had no problems with nobody in the Super Bowl.
Okay, well, that's my point of this whole argument is that a lot of people still don't think Tom Brady's the GOAT. So why are we? It's like no one will give in to Tom Brady at all. There's no hype about him. There's nothing spectacular about him. Everybody's bored by him. Everybody's sick and tired of him. Nobody honors him as the GOAT. That's what's happening right now. They want him to be. He's getting more GOAT acclaim. 15's getting more GOAT acclaim than 12 is right now.
Tony Romo believes he's the GOAT. Because he just basically said that if he beats Patrick Mahomes, there's nothing Mahomes can do.
Think about the premise of that statement. If Patrick Mahomes, how old is he? 25?
25.
Okay. If he at 25 beats a 43-year-old quarterback in his first year with a new team, a team that went 7-9 the year before, a team that nobody saw coming, except maybe me, to get to the Super Bowl. And what's the degree of difficulty? He should win. He's favored to win. So why is it such a challenge or such an achievement to beat the 43-year-old? How will that launch his his GOAT career. Do you see what I mean?
What winning a Super Bowl?
Okay, but how big a deal is it to beat a 43-year-old whose team has been terrible? Like, his team has been nothing but great. Even the 3 years before he took over at starter, they went to the playoffs 3 straight times. They were winning 12, 11, 10 games. And he took over a very good team. He's got the 2 best receivers. He's got the best offensive coach in football.
Were they the 2 best receivers before he got them?
Yeah.
So you're saying Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, before Patrick Mahomes got there, they were the 2 best receivers in the NFL?
I think they were.
Skip, stop.
Well, you know that. They had you saw it all over the field. They were running crazy. I saw Tyreek Hill coming when I'm rooting for my University of Oklahoma against Oklahoma State, and Stoops stupidly punted to Tyreek at the end of the game. And I said, "What are you doing?" And he ran it 80 yards back and beat him.
Skip.
You could see it.
I understand that, but Tyreek was a returner. He worked on his game, crafted his game, and now he's turned himself into a great receiver where he doesn't even return the ball. Travis Kelce was a very good tight end, but we were not talking about Travis Kelce possibly being the GOAT tight end when he was playing with Alex Smith. We've talked about this the last 3 years since he's paired up with Patrick Mahomes.
Okay.
I'm not saying that these guys don't help Patrick Mahomes, but Patrick Mahomes has allowed Tyreek, has allowed Travis Kelce to take their games to the next level.
So as we start to evaluate Patrick Mahomes' Super Bowl career as he goes forward, obviously you think he's going to play in 6 or 8 or 10.
No, that's not what I said. No, I didn't.
Well, that's your gut feeling. You're heading that way.
No.
We have to evaluate how he plays in his wins and maybe his Super Bowl losses. So we look at Tom Brady. He's won 6 rings with 6 game-winning drives in the fourth quarter overtime. That's pretty great. In a 7th Super Bowl, he had what looked like a game-winning drive of 80 yards. And with 2:42 left, he hit Randy Moss with what I thought was the game-winning touchdown to put them up 14-10 versus Eli. And here came Eli going 83 yards the other way in 12 plays against Bill Belichick's vaunted defense. Was that Brady's fault? No, it wasn't.
14 points?
So to me...
14 points?
Well, it should have stood up. It should have been 14-10 if you got Bill Belichick on defense.
Wait, hold on. You got Tom Brady, who was the first time in NFL history...
Did he score enough to win the game?
No, he did not. No.
Yes.
You got Tom Brady, a unanimous MVP, who his team averaged 36.7 points a game.
Help me out.
And he only gave me 14?
If Bill Belichick has to stop Eli from scoring a touchdown in the last 2 minutes of the game because they need more than 4, obviously. It's not a 3-point game. It's a 4-point game. Do you were the odds on, would your money be on Bill Belichick to stop Eli going 83
All the
yards?
money was on Tom Brady because he was the MVP. All the money was on the Patriots because they had the unanimous MVP.
Did he do enough to win that game?
No, he did
yes,
not.
He
no,
did.
he did not.
You know, and
no,
I know. It's in black and white. It's on the scoreboard. 14-10. Game over with 2 minutes left.
How was the game over then? So they won.
What happened to Bill Belichick? You say he's the GOAT.
They won. Huh? You said the game over, 14-10.
Yeah. Well, it should have been. Where's Bill Belichick?
Hold on.
Because he's overrated. He's getting exposed.
Skip, stop this.
Okay, let's go to the other one. How about Nick Foles against Bill Belichick?
Yes.
Nick Foles scores 41 points. Tom Brady throws for a playoff record, not a Super Bowl record, an all-time playoff record, 505 yards, puts up 33 points, and he loses 41-33 because his coach's defense can't stop the backup quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Hold on. But see how you criticize the defense when they lose, but you didn't heap praise on them when they beat the greatest show on turf?
Okay, they did. I told you that's his one masterpiece. I give you a masterpiece.
Okay, what about Malcolm Butler picking the ball in the end zone?
No, it was good. It was a good play.
Oh,
wait a second. How about Tom Brady in the fourth quarter against the Legion of Boom?
So
124 and 2 touchdowns against the Legion of Boom.
If Malcolm Butler does not make that interception, do you win or lose the game?
You lose. But,
okay, then thank you.
Wait, if they're down 24-14 going to the
Why
fourth
are they down?
quarter. Well, I don't know.
You do know was Tom Brady.
They're up against a defense that a lot of people thought was the greatest defense ever, and Brady torched it in the fourth quarter.
I just want to know what
thing. So look at the body of work. Should have won 2 more Super Bowls.
He could have lost 2 more.
No, he put him in position. He had game-winning drives.
Skip, you don't get to get put in. But Skip, you see what you did?
It's the most extraordinary resume in the history of sports, in any sport. Nobody has ever played at the classic clutch level that Tom Brady has in lots of AFC championship games and all of his Super Bowls. And for that kid to have this pressure on him, you better win this game if you're going to be the GOAT. good luck and God bless you, because the achievement that this man is still building is off the chart. We've never seen anything like it before.
Mahomes does not need any outside pressure. He put the pressure on himself. The moment he started, and he went 5,050 touchdowns in his first full year of starting, his life was forever changed. He was never going to be just a guy. He was never going to get the opportunity. Well, you got to let him play. You got to let him fail. I mean, he's only in his first year starting. He was never going to have that luxury again because he did what he did. He took a team to the AFC Championship game. Tom Brady got the ball in overtime, and he never saw it back. He comes back up the next year. He gets them to the Super Bowl after falling behind in every single game. 2 in the playoffs and the Super Bowl. He did that. So, Skip, he's never going to get judged like a normal quarterback. He's only going to get judged like the Pantheon greats. He's only going to get judged like Brady has, like Montana, like the Elway. That's how he's going to be judged, Skip. He's never going to be like a normal quarterback, how we see him get a chance to grow. You have some struggles. That's never going to be him. He'll never get that luxury again. That's out the window now.
Well, then I feel sorry.
Don't feel sorry for him. He's okay. Skip, you know how that is. You know how Jordan would. Skip, once Jordan did what he did in '86, he was never going to be normal again.
I remember this kid named Aaron Rodgers winning a Super Bowl. It's like 10 or 11 years ago now. I forget how long ago it was. And everybody said, how many is going to win?
Hold
6,
on.
8, 10?
Think about it. You remember when Tom Brady won his last Super Bowl? It was 10 years before he won another one. You remember that, Skip? You never said it was so long ago that Tom Brady won a Super Bowl. You know why? And people, they do that about Aaron Rodgers. 2010 was so long ago, but 2005 was a very long time ago, too, before Tom Brady won another one in 20.
So are you suggesting that from here on, Aaron Rodgers is going to get to, 9 more Super Bowls?
I didn't make any suggestion. All I said is that people didn't say it's been a long time, it's been a decade since Tom Brady won the last Super Bowl. Nobody said that. Because you know why? Because we like Tom. Oh, he didn't go 10 years, okay. Who's to say that Aaron can't go back for another 1 or 2? I'm not saying that he will, but who's to say that he can't? But the story...
I'll say he can't.
All I'm saying is that Patrick Mahomes is that the standard that we're judging him by, yes, Skip, it's unfair because he brought that on himself by being so great at such a young age. But we never said that if Brady loses, he can't beat. Oh, he'll just bounce back. But it's always if they lose, they can never beat. There's no bounce back with anybody else other than Tom Brady. That's my only thing, Skip. Tom Brady is great. He's been great in the biggest moments. I think that's his greatest attribute. Not that he's outstanding through the course of the game, but as you say, when you shove all the money in the middle of the table, whether he has a great hand or not, he can bluff you off your hand. So it's not what he has, it's what you don't have. Give him credit. I'm going to give him credit for that, Skip. But you try to make it seem like Patrick Mahomes is a bum.
I didn't say he's a bum, but he's played 1 Super Bowl, and he was below average by his standards in that 1 Super Bowl. And we now are talking about he's in the GOAT conversation.
Let me ask you a question.
Really?
Do you believe that he played better in his first Super Bowl or Tom Brady played better in his?
Tom Brady, go look at the last drive. Go look at it.
So let me ask you a question. Was Tom Brady ever down in that game by double digits?
No.
Okay.
No, but again, they were a 14-point underdog.
Yeah.
Was Mahomes the underdog last year?
No.
No.
Oh,
okay.
the greatest, think about it. Coach Belichick shut down the greatest
He did.
show
I
on
told
turf.
you it was a masterpiece, but it was also a masterpiece, quiet masterpiece, an underrated masterpiece of what he did in the last drive.
With 4 Hall of Famers on the offensive side of the football and another potential one. Okay. That's what Coach Belichick held to 17 points. That's what Coach Belichick held to 17 points.
And that was his last hurrah. Seriously.
Stop it.
Well, go look. Go show me.
Skip.
Seriously.
So what?
Overrated.
What was the Rams? What did he do against the Rams?
Against
the Rams.
The St. Louis or the LA Rams?
LA Rams. 13 points. 3 points.
The Rams are trying to replace their quarterback as we speak.
Hold up. They're trying to replace did Tom Brady beat that guy? You mean to tell me Tom Brady beat a guy that they already tried to replace in the Super Bowl, but you give him credit?
Well, it was the best defense in pro football that he beat.
So what was San Francisco last year?
They were pretty good. They were top 5. Yeah.
So they were no good. Don't do that, Skip. Don't do that.
But Jimmy G, he just said, "Here, I gift wrap this."
What did Jared Goff do? Here, I gift wrap this.
Well, I don't know that he did. It was just he just couldn't muster up any offense.
So what about Jimmy G? So he just couldn't muster up any offense. So what about Coach?
3 of 11 in the fourth quarter.
So let me ask you a question. What about Coach Belichick against Atlanta in the second half? How many points did he give up in the second half?
Okay, he was good. But Tom Brady threw for 246 in the fourth quarter in overtime. That's unheard of.
He threw for 505, but Coach Belichick's defense couldn't get a stop. They lost. You see
Couldn't get a stop. 41 points? Are you kidding me?
He gave up 28 in the first half. That's like Skip says, 28 in the first half, 20 in the second half. The score should have been 56-6. What was the final score, Skip?
Of which game?
Atlanta. So if you give up, if Tom Brady had this many points in the first half and this many yards in the second half, he should have that. Coach Belichick's defense, give him credit. But I disagree with Tony Romo in what he said.
No mercy. Hey, Undisputed listeners, I wanted to tell you about our brand new Fox Sports app and website, foxsports.com. Reimagined for the modern sports fan. Go ahead, download the new app right now. You don't even have to pause this episode. Every day on the new app and website, you'll see the top stories in sports, plus a rich world of written content, videos, social media, and analytics to give you a 360-degree view of the most important stories of the day. Streaming live TV has never been so easy or elegant. Every Fox Sports game, including all pregame and postgame shows, are just one click away. For the extra invested fan, we also go deep with real-time wagering lines, trending prop bets, win probability, and key player projections. Download the new Fox Sports app or visit www.foxsports.com. No mercy. After winning 10 straight road games to start the year, the Lakers have now lost their last 2. Anthony Davis sat out with a knee contusion, and only 3 Lakers hit double-digit point totals in their 107-92 loss to the Pistons. And after the game, LeBron described how he was feeling after the back-to-back road games. Take a listen.
Yeah, I think Detroit played extremely well tonight, and then we didn't play well. We didn't play well at all. Like our legs got to us a little bit on the second night of a back-to-back. That was the result of it. I don't get tired. I don't feel tired. I get my sleep, I get my rest, but I have a lot of energy. I don't get tired when we're not playing. I have an opportunity to rest and get my body back right, get my mind refreshed. But I don't get tired.
Doesn't get tired. Shannon, who is most to blame for the loss?
Well, Skip, they went cold they went 7 minutes. It's hard to win a ball game, a very close ball game, Skip, and you go 7 minutes without scoring a basket. And when I say not scoring a basket, I'm talking about I ain't talking about just shooting from the floor. I'm talking about from the free throw line, anything. You can't get anything. And that's what happened. They got cold, especially in the fourth quarter. They only scored 34 points in the second half. Thought they played really well in the first half. I thought LeBron played an excellent first half. But, Skip, and there's always a method to LeBron's madness. And you and I talked about this the other night. He got it going early, and then he okay, let me get other guys in. Because I'm always thinking, and I could be totally wrong and off base about this, but I always think that he's always thinking about the big picture. He's thinking about down the road. Skip, he started the first half. He was 20 points, 1 assist. Then he comes out in the second half. He's 2 points, 9 assists. If you look at what he was trying to do in the third quarter, he had 6 assists in the third quarter, trying to get everybody else involved. I thought Kuzma played really well last night, Skip. Trying to get people involved, trying to do that, and I think it hurt his rhythm. I would wish, Skip, most guys, if that's Durant, if that's any other guy, and they go 7-7 to start the game, they go 4-4 from 3, damn assist total. My assist total might be 3, Skip, but I'm going to have 45, 50 points, especially when you start off like that, but that's not how LeBron thinks. LeBron's like, okay, let me get everybody else involved. We might need these guys down the road. Let me show them that I have confidence in them to give them opportunities. And he turned into a facilitator in the second half, but he lost his rhythm. But I did think his legs got heavy. Maybe he's not, but his legs, the output, that 3 ball started hitting the front of the rims, which is a sign that said, yeah, the legs don't have that pop that they had in the beginning. So I don't necessarily say he was tired, fatigued, but his legs did get heavy. Played 36 minutes last night, 39 minutes against Philly. And so he's still averaging a career low, 33 minutes, even after playing those heavy minutes the last couple of nights back to back. But I'm not overly concerned. I just need to see more consistency out of the bench. Wesley Matthews got to get it going. But I would like to see THT get more runs, Skip. I'd like to see him get more minutes because he comes in with a lot of energy. He plays hard. He defends at a high level. But like LeBron said, give Detroit credit. Detroit played well. Skip, they made some shots, too. When did Blake Griffin all of a sudden turn into a three-point marksman? And Wayne Ellington, man, I wish we could have got Wayne Ellington because, hey, he's a very good three-point shooter. Jeremy Grant, the Plumlee, came from Denver. They played extremely well. Give Detroit credit. They played well last night, and the Lakers did not.
Okay, so I believe I just heard my man, Shannon Sharp, say that LeBron James, his man, was not telling the truth when he said at the end of his soliloquy, I don't get tired.
He said his legs, he said it in the beginning before he said that. He said his legs got heavy.
Our legs got heavy.
Yeah.
That was throwing teammates under bus. That was pointing the finger at them. He was trying to say, they got tired, I never get tired. So he was deflecting the blame off himself onto his teammates for getting tired in the second half of a back-to-back game on the road.
Skip, he started 7 of 7.
Okay.
He ended up 8 of 19.
Okay.
So he was 1 for 12 on his last.
Thank you. I have a whole lot to say about that. So let's go back to the first quarter, shall we?
Yes.
This was another first accomplished by the great LeBron James, because in my life watching NBA basketball, I cannot remember a player getting this hot and then going that cold, which was even colder than the hot.
Yes.
Which is hard to do. Okay, so why is that? This is just me. His confidence from distance is still a little bit flimsy, a little bit fragile, because he came into this year as a 34% career three-point shooter, and he's on mostly a hot streak because he's still at 42% because he hit 4 out of 8 last night. But he hit, as you say, his first 7 shots, including 4 threes. But we have to see what he did after his third three, when he was starting to really feel it, and it forced Dwayne Casey to call a quick timeout for the home Detroit Pistons. If we could see what happened, LeBron makes the three. He's out of his mind. He's walking it back, backpedaling, and the timeout gets called. And what does LeBron do with the timeout? He then sprints to the bench. He sprints to the bench. It's such a hot dog move. You just can't. It's beneath his dignity.
So what should you do? Crawl, centipede?
No, you just walk to the bench or trot to the bench like everybody else does, because you don't need to be that uncool. Like Jordan would never have done that.
See, and Jordan doesn't do it. Nobody else can do it.
But it's such a hot dog move. I'm going to sprint to the bench because I'm so hot. I want everybody to see how hot I am.
Skip, you love boxing. What would Big George do in between the rounds? He would stay. Did he sit on the stool or did he stand in the corner? Ali would never do that.
I don't care.
See, you see, Skip.
Okay, but it's just such a, it's an embarrassing hot dog move. I'm so hot, I'm going to sprint to the bench. It's like a Harry Hustle move, some high school kid who gets hot and, watch, I'm going to sprint to the bench because I'm on fire.
I mean,
okay?
LeBron James would never shrug his shoulders after hitting three threes in a row.
Okay, well, that was just cool.
You see, now that's just cool.
Come on,
George,
you got to give it up.
You see, now that's just cool.
That's to the TV guys like, I don't know what's happened.
So LeBron's like, hey, let me go on and get this head to the bench and get my leg, get off my feet.
Okay, sprint to the bench. Okay, so he makes then a fourth three out of his mind. I'm thinking, this is going to be an all-timer. But then on his fifth three attempt, it comes with 8:12 left in the second quarter. What happened? Here we go again. LeBron, I'm hot. I'm feeling it, and I'm going to shoot this one, and I hit nothing. He airballed it. When would you ever see a great three-point shooter, a Steph or a Clay, airball a shot? They just don't airball because they're just too good. They're always going to draw iron.
I saw KD airball a three the other night.
Okay, but I don't consider him an all-time great three-point shooter. He's a 7-footer who can make threes.
But you say he's the best player in the NBA.
Well, he is.
So how you airball?
He's a mid-range jump shooter.
Well, how you airball the best player?
Okay, but this is about LeBron James.
Okay.
Somehow, his confidence got destroyed by that one miss, because after that, he couldn't buy one. And to your point, he goes 1 of 12 the rest of the game, and the one was a little put back on he got a little offensive rebound underneath and just put it back in. That was the only one he could score out of his next 12 shots.
Right.
Well, that's impossibly bad. So then let's fast forward to the fourth quarter, and with 8:40 left in this game, the Pistons are only up 1 point. And guess what happens? They go on a 19-2 run, so it's a game. It's winnable, and LeBron is playing.
88.
Yeah, LeBron is playing 10 minutes of the fourth quarter, so he's all in, man. And as he says, I don't get tired, so we're not going to give him the tired excuse.
No.
And what happens? He goes turnover, missed 3, then he missed a sort of a driving lap, missed 3. If we could see these, this is his riff of fourth quarter. You know, to your point, that one was way short. You losing your legs? Then the driving layup. He's been missing a lot. That was an air ball.
He's been
missing a lot at the rim lately. Then another 3 is just a clanger. And then that got knocked out of bounds by the Lakers. And then this is his last 3-point attempt. It's not even close. So he just lost it. He's lost his confidence, his feel, his rhythm, whatever. But those are 4 shots. So he goes 0 for 4 in the fourth quarter. And it's hard to fathom how a guy that just a week ago, we're talking about what happened in Cleveland. Heck, just days ago, a week ago. It was just early this week. Yeah. He scores 21. He goes out of his mind. He looked like beyond Jordan in the fourth quarter with 21 points because he got mad at that executive in the front row in Cleveland who overclapped on a miss at the end of the third quarter.
And remember, Skip, what he did against the Bucs. He had a monster fourth quarter against the Bucs.
So. Well, it wasn't a month. He had a big stretch in there where they got back in the game, but he had a monster opening to the fourth quarter. He had a salvo.
Yeah, we had to. I mean,
but he went from the 7:21 mark all the way down to 104 without making a shot.
But
they got back. They cut it all the way down to 2.
We bookended. So we started and let somebody else do something in the middle.
But think about what happened. The Pistons were also playing back-to-back, having lost the night before, speaking of Cleveland, at Cleveland by 15. The Pistons had. That was their 5th loss in 6 games. That dropped them to 4-14, second worst record to Washington in the Eastern Conference. And they're just not very good. Do they have some firepower there? Yep. I got what you said about Ellington and Blake, and you're right. I watched Blake for 2 full years at Oklahoma. He couldn't make a shot beyond 1 foot, and that's the God's truth.
He was Zion before Zion.
Okay, I got it.
Double dunks.
And could he dunk? Could he dunk? But has he not figured out how to shoot? And it happens. Maybe Zion can take that path and figure out how to make some shots.
Skip, I thought what happened was early. If you look at the first half, the Lakers should have been up, and they would end up being dead. They might have been up, but 6 turnovers. And it seems like every time they start to get a little cushion, Skip, what do they come down and do? Turn the ball over. They had 6 turnovers. Detroit had 1. And that's the thing that I see with them is that they turn the ball over. The same thing that they got them in trouble with Golden State when they had that big lead. They started turning the ball over, and Golden State started chipping away. Well, Detroit was able to hang around because you turned the ball over. Clean up some of that.
Okay, and I agree with what you said about Kyle Kuzma. He actually played very well last night. And what was the difference?
He started.
He got to start last night. Is there a case to be made he should start over KCP? Yeah, there is.
But here's
except that KCP is a clutch client.
I don't think that has anything to do with it. Guess what? When he's in the starting lineup and AD's there, does he play like this? So he goes from being the third option to being the second option.
But his whole body language changed.
Yes.
It's like I belong out here.
He doesn't. Right. He does not believe. He doesn't see himself as a Lou Williams.
He not.
Sees his value as being a starter and being able to put points on the board. So
he plays a little more timidly when he comes in. His energy is down a notch, and he tries to do the little things like rebounding and facilitating.
Yeah, he's gotten to the glass a lot lately. He had a couple of offensive rebounds. 3 offensive rebounds yesterday.
Well, he had 10 total.
But that's the thing, though, Skip. He needs to understand, and Skip. He sees Donovan Mitchell. He sees Jason Tatum. He sees Brandon Ingram. But they're not playing alongside Anthony Davis and LeBron James. So you have to scale your expectations. You're not going to get 20 shots on a nightly basis playing along those 2 guys.
Yep, I agree.
All right, well, we're going to leave LeBron, the Lakers for now. Get back to Tom Brady because he sang high praises of Bruce Arians to reporters yesterday. Among other compliments, Brady said the team really wants to win the Super Bowl for Arians because he is, quote, a great leader. He's a great person. He's a great friend. He's very loyal. So, Shannon, what do you read into this quote?
Skip. Maybe they've patched things up, because Arians offered a very harsh critique at different points in time of the season of Tom Brady. But, Skip, can we be all the way 100 here? Let's keep it buck with each other. Tom Brady wants to win this damn Super Bowl because he wants to show Bill Belichick, I won it without you.
Agreed.
That's it. Now, he can give me all this thing about loyalty and BA is a great guy, and everybody that's ever been around BA says that he's a great guy. So I have no reason to believe that he's not a great guy. But Tom Brady is being disingenuous.
Okay.
The main reason Tom Brady wants to win this Super Bowl...
Well, I don't think he's lying about his feelings for Bruce, but go ahead.
No, I'm saying the main reason... Not only
not for Bruce, but because of Bill.
Right.
Actually, for Bill, in a way. Yeah.
It'll be 7.
Right.
But it'll be the first one without Coach Belichick. I told y'all I could win without. I told y'all I wasn't a systems guy. I told y'all I was more responsible.
He didn't actually tell, but he was saying that with his actions. Yes.
Remember he said, I couldn't do Bill's job. Bill couldn't do my job. What's he saying, Skip? Y'all keep talking about Coach Belichick, but he can't do what I do.
Yep.
And so that's all I'm saying, Skip. I believe that he sincerely does want to win a title. Not only for BA, because I believe he does after the rough spots, and I believe he and BA had an opportunity to sit down and talk.
I do too.
He loves Byron Leftwich. Hopefully Byron Leftwich now. If they win the Super Bowl and he can't get a job in the coming, it's going to be a problem because he's calling the plays.
He's calling the plays.
And plus, I like BA. Skip, if they weren't playing Kansas City, even with Tom Brady, I'd root for the Bucs because BA got something that nobody else have. 4 of his coordinators, black.
It's true.
Special teams coach, defense coach, offensive coordinator, and they got 2 women. So he ain't just talking about diversity.
No, he
put action to his words.
Very good point.
But Skip, for me to make a long story short, because I know you got a lot to say about this. If Tom would just say, hey, I love playing for BA. He's a great guy. He's going to give it to you honest, because everybody says that if you play for the guy, he's going to tell you honestly. He's going to say if you're playing good, he's going to tell you playing good. If you play it bad, he's going to tell you playing bad. As a matter of fact, you know who he reminds me of, Skip? He reminds me a lot of Brian Billick. Brian Billick had a lot to really say. BA was talk, and Brian had a lot to say. We had a really good team. There's a lot to talk about.
Yep.
But Tom wants to win this Super Bowl, not only because they give him 7, but I get an opportunity to do it without you. Skip, it's like any relationship. When you get a new relationship, I see people, they was in an old relationship and they posted, oh, my love of my life. They on vacation, they in snow masks, they all over. Everything is great. If everything is great, you don't have to tell me. I'm going to see it. Jenny, Jenny laughing because she know what I'm talking about. They posted everything, and then 3 weeks later, then about a month later, I go back to the page, I don't see nothing about the boyfriend. I don't see nothing about it. I said, well, where you go? It was so great. That's what Tom Brady do. Tom, just go win the Super Bowl, and you ain't everything else to speak for itself.
I think you pay Jenny to be your laugh track on the show. Is that true? Jenny, it's like you're an ass.
Jenny.
The relationship advice, I'm sorry, Shannon, it's funny.
It'd be spot on, don't it, Jenny?
I mean, I hear
Skip, you been doing.
Do you have a button you push so she'll laugh? I don't know.
I got the staple, that's... Staples Office Depot.
You guys. Now I'm in the corner laughing. But yeah, Skip, say something funny. I'll get you next time.
Yeah, she's never laughed. She's gritted her teeth a lot at things I said, but not laugh.
Me too.
Okay. Back to my man, Tom Brady. Every statement he made yesterday should have been followed by a comma, Coach Belichick, because they were all aimed at Coach Belichick. I agree with you. Every statement. It was, Lord have mercy, Tom. You are laying it on thicker than ever.
Yes.
I've never heard such gushing about anybody from a Tom Brady who's usually a little milquetoasty, kind of soft-spoken, and everything's, well, I don't know. Nothing's ever that absolute where he's going to rave about somebody.
He was there with Coach Belichick for 20 years. Will you ever heard him say something like that about Coach Belichick?
Well, that's the point.
He there 8 months.
Okay, I'm going to reiterate these quotes one more time from Tom Brady yesterday about Bruce Arians. He's a great man, Coach Belichick, a great leader, a great person, a great friend. He's very loyal. He's just got a great way about communicating effectively with everybody around him. Everybody has great affection for him, for the person he is. There's nobody who would ever say anything bad about BA. He's just so endearing to everybody. Coach Belichick, right? He just aimed the whole soliloquy at Coach Belichick. This is everything Bill was never to Tom. Everything.
In his eyes, BA is everything Coach Belichick isn't.
Everything.
Everything that he wanted Coach Belichick to possibly. I understand we in the beginning, but he said even as I grew and became the player that you see today, Coach Belichick didn't grow with me.
It was cold shoulder. It was stiff arm from a distance. I told you, friends of Brady's have told me that it always got him, that Coach Belichick never even asked him one time to play off-season golf.
Right.
Not one time.
Right.
Even when they were in the same area, New England or Rhode Island or wherever they were,
right.
they could have just maybe had one little golf game or maybe a quick dinner. No, because what have you always said about Coach Belichick? He's going to be the general. He's going to be above it all. He's going to have no relationships with nobody that he has to oversee.
Now, when you come back here, when it's all said and done, you're not playing, and I'm not your boss. Oh, you want to sit down and talk? Hey, come to the office. I don't know if Tom Brady going to be going to his office.
He's not going to be going to his office. So obviously, Tom's having the time of his life playing for a man who is the human that Bill was never to Tom.
Right.
He's a friend to Tom.
Yes.
But now we get to the flashpoint. The conflict here was all the way through the New Orleans game, which was their 9th game of the year, Bruce Arians criticized Tom Brady publicly the way Bill never did.
Never.
It was private.
Yes.
It was film session.
Yes.
It was practice field, but it was never ever
before
publicly.
the media.
Except when he said he got the 12 stitches in his hand, and he said it wasn't exactly open heart surgery.
Yeah, it was. Give me that what he said it was.
He's got 12 stitches in the palm of his throwing hand in the AFC Championship.
I don't know about footballs either. Ask Tom about
That's another one. Okay, I'll give you that one. But it got so bad that Rob Ninkovich, for whom I have great respect, a close friend of Tom's, and obviously a great ex-patriot, called for Bruce Arians' job. I was close because it was driving me out of my mind that this man had the audacity. He wouldn't just criticize him. He would put him through the ringer. Yeah. I'm going to remind you of a couple of quotes. After the New Orleans debacle, which was the worst game Tom Brady ever played, and it was also by far the worst game that team played all year. Right. They got blown off their home field on Sunday Night Football.
Right.
And after the game, this is Bruce Arians on Tom. Mike Evans was open a bunch in that ball game. He didn't get targeted. That was all. Mike was open all night.
Right.
What a shot that is at the GOAT. And then also after that game, it was AB's first game.
AB was open too.
He said on a crucial early 3rd down, we should have, his grammar's a little off, but he said, we should have went to AB on that play. He was open, but we decided to go to Gronk. We is he, as in go.
Yeah, you're not the quarterback.
and it was so offensive to me. What has Bruce Arians ever done in his life, his playoff life, to deserve to criticize that guy? Yeah. But apparently, that guy shrugged it off or tried to grin and bear it. And to your point, I firmly believe that in that bye week, which came very late in the year in week 13 after the narrow Kansas City loss at home, they finally had a chance to take a deep breath, redesign the offense in favor of number 12, put some motion in, put a little play action in, and I believe they had a come to you-know-who meeting after somewhere in that first week, because after their next game, which was a win over Minnesota, these words came out of Bruce Arians' mouth. I don't know how anybody could ever criticize Tom Brady.
You just been doing it for 9 weeks.
9 weeks. But you know what happened? Tom said, and I don't think Tom loves clashes or conflict or confrontation, but I think he just said, BA. You got to give me one break here.
Yeah, the public criticism is not helpful because people are going to be asking you, they're going to be asking me, they're going to be asking the teammates, and that's something, that's distractions. We need to focus on what we need to focus on, and that's getting better as a team. But Skip, look, Brady didn't win this Super Bowl. What's the headline on every paper? Brady wins 7th Super Bowl. Not Arians wins 1st Super Bowl. So I get it, Tom. That's a great gesture. We want to win this for BA.
Well, I think there's some authentic sort of genuine
there's no question. But Skip, the greatest motivation in this one is Tom Brady winning without Coach Belichick.
Absolutely, period, end of story. He will say nothing publicly about it. He won't say a word. If he wins it, he will not say a peep about it after the game because he knows his actions and that final score will speak volumes.
And everybody knows. That, just like Coach Belichick wants to win one without him to say, see, I told you I could. He wants to win one without Coach Belichick to say, I told you I could. And not only I could, I did. And I did it quick.
Lord have mercy.
Skip, and like I said, you don't really know a person's true feelings in a situation until one of the parties are removed from that situation. And that's generally when you get the truth, they start telling. Now, I was waiting for all this to come out in the tell-all. I didn't expect it to come out on the lead up to the Super Bowl, but I thought there was going to be a tell-all book, and then he going to say, man, me and Coach Belichick, we butted head all the time. I don't know how I gritted it and buried it for 20 years. But, winning, you just say winning cures all things. It's a great deodorant.
Yep.
But we know, hey, everything that he said about BA is great. Coach Belichick, you're not. You're a great, BA is a great communicator. Coach Belichick, you are not.
Yeah.
Everybody likes BA. Everybody does not. That's what he's saying, Skip.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So in the end, I believe that Tom Brady is having the time of his life, but that Bruce Arians is going along for the ride of his life.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, just don't monk it up. Just don't get in the way.
Especially because it worked and they got to the Super Bowl. I can't believe that Tom and Bill lasted as long as they did, considering the relationship. That's a whole
kids got grown. You stay together until the kids get grown, Skip. Once the kids get out the house, I'm gone.
No mercy.
Hey, Undisputed listeners, it's Charlotte Wilder here to tell you about my new podcast with Mark Titus called the People Sports Podcast. It comes out every Thursday, and Mark and I take one of the big stories of the week, and then we go off on tangents you never saw coming. This might mean that we start talking about the Dodgers winning the World Series and end up wondering if Knicks fans deserve happiness. Or begin with LeBron's greatness and end up drafting our ultimate beer league softball team made up of old athletes. Whatever it is, the only rule of the show is that it has to be fun and funny, because these days we can all use as many laughs as we can get. So check it out wherever you get your podcasts and come down weird sports rabbit holes with us. We can't wait to have you.
No mercy. Ben Roethlisberger will currently enter the 2021 season with a cap hit of just over $41 million, which would be the highest in the league. Steelers owner Art Rooney said they've left the door open for a Big Ben return with a revised contract. Roethlisberger also talked yesterday saying he wants to give it one more year and doesn't care what he gets paid. And his agent said, quote, Ben's contract won't hold things up. So, Shannon, what is going on here?
Skip, Pittsburgh isn't about rebuilding. They never have been. And normally when you have a great quarterback, Skip, you ride it until the wheels fall off. That's what was so surprising about what Green Bay did. If you look at the Steelers, they haven't taken a quarterback since Big Ben got there in the high rounds, Skip. You look at the Saints, they haven't taken a quarterback in the high rounds since they got there. You look at the Chargers before, the Chargers with Phillip Rivers, they weren't taking. So normally when you get that guy, Skip, you try to build around him. Now I'm looking at Ben's earnings. Ben have earned over $250 million on field. Now it's hard for me to imagine he's gotten anything off the field considering what transpired early in his career. But Skip, I look at it like this. Ben is going to come back at a very reduced contract, no problem. The Steelers have been more than gracious of it. You remember a couple of years ago when the general manager, I forget his name, when he said these guys should be bowing down to Ben.
Kevin
Colbert. Yep. How they should be. Ben is like an idol to these guys, like a father figure, yada, yada, yada. Yep. So it lets you know where Ben's standing was in that organization. Mm-hmm. So I expect Ben to come back at a reduced contract, but I don't see the difference. Skip, Ben can't push the ball down the field. It's going to be a lot of short passes. They need a running back, be it the draft or free agency. What are they going to do about Juju? I don't look at Juju as a number one. He's a number two. Yep. He's probably going to move on. Somebody's probably going to pay him as if he's a number one.
I agree.
And so when I look at the Steelers and their cap situation, Skip, well, Steelers and the Saints are $104 million over the cap, which is they're in trouble. But when I look at this, Skip, I'll say the Steelers are going to bring Ben back. They're going to try to run it back. They're going to try to go a little further than what they did. But I don't see it turning out any better because I don't see how Ben Roethlisberger's arm get any stronger than what it was last year.
I'm not so sure about your conclusion.
You don't think they're ready? You don't think he comes back?
I was shocked watching the video and listening to the audio of Art Rooney II, who is the team president and the CEO. The buck stops on his desk.
Yes.
His attitude was almost surprised that, yeah, Ben wants to come back. We'll see. And it was said without warmth. It came off as cold-blooded. It came off as extremely just matter of fact. We'll see if we can work it out. Obviously, Ben's cap hit next year is $41.2 million.
We can't work that out.
It's the biggest in all of football.
Yes.
41.2.
Yes.
Lord. And yet, it didn't feel like he was happy that Ben wants to come back. It felt to me, this is just the way it came across. I'm just watching it on television. It came across that he felt a little pushed in the corner, like, I guess we got to make a hard call here.
Yeah.
Because Ben Roethlisberger, an iconic Steeler quarterback, has been reduced to groveling for his job. That's how it came across. I'll play for nothing. That's what he told The Athletic, basically. I don't care about the money. I'll play for nothing. You will? Well, it feels like they're going to make you play for nothing to even have a chance.
It's going to be really close to nothing.
It will.
Your base salary, you're going to have a lot of incentives. Basically, you win the division, win playoff games. I mean, he's about to have incentives like Brady had without the $25 million. You know, Brady got $500,000 if he won the division, and $500,000 playoff game. He get us another $1 million, $2 million to win the Super Bowl. That's what Ben's going to be, Skip. Look, obviously he wants to come back. He doesn't want to go out the way it did. But, Skip, I mean, when you've made $250 million, you've made $253 million. I think only Eli Manning and Peyton Manning has made more on-field salary than Ben Roethlisberger. So could they get a deal done somewhere, Skip? Say, well, okay, we'll give you $3-4 million?
Well, I know they can get a deal done if Ben's being honest about his desires.
He got no choice, Skip. That's it.
Okay.
Are they going to move on?
Okay. And yet, Art Rooney was very clear. We need to add another quarterback to, as he said, our room. Well, they got Mason Rudolph and
Skip,
he's saying we want to go find a quarterback in the draft. Do they want to try to trade up into the top part?
Hold on, Skip. What about some of these quarterbacks that's available? What about Matthew Stafford?
I mean,
there's going to be a lot of quarterbacks available. Now, I don't believe Mason Rudolph and Dwayne Haskins are the two.
They signed Dwayne Haskins.
Are the two guys, Skip, that can get the Steelers to where the Steelers want to be. I don't believe they're the two guys. Now they're going to be a lot of guys available. Matthew Stafford, we know he's available. Matt Ryan might be available.
Maybe.
Sam Darnold might be available. Drew, there are going to be some guys that are available.
Agreed.
So are they willing? Because, Skip, the Steelers don't really – the only thing, I say that, I threw that out there, but if you look at the Steelers, they don't really do anything in free agency, Skip. They like to draft their guys. They like their own guys. Or they'll trade, like they traded for Minkah Fitzpatrick, but they got him young. But as far as free agents, they got Bud Dupree. What are they going to do with him? He had an ACL injury. He franchised him last year. He's still going to want, franchise-type money. What do they do there? T.J. Watt's going to be coming up.
Well,
so they kind of handicapped, Skip.
All right, and just to reiterate what we just saw transpire, that team got to 11-0. Was it as unimpressive 11-0 as you've ever seen? You don't see very many 11-0s. But as you know, having played at the highest level in this league, it's hard to get to 11-0, even if it's unimpressive. It's just hard.
It is. It is.
And he did. And his final tally was 33 touchdowns to 10 interceptions, which is not terrible.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah. But then you look at his QBR, and it fell all the way to 22nd. You look at his Pro Football Focus grade, and it fell to 25th. So he's going bottom of the barrel in overall grading. And from 11-0, as we all remember, they finished 1-5, including the home loss to Cleveland, in which they fell behind 28-0 and got blown out, basically.
Skip, when I was playing in the league and you was covering the league, 33-10 would win you an MVP.
Yeah, it would.
You know how many guys have won the Super Bowl won the MVP throwing 30 touchdowns and 10 interceptions?
Okay, but it was the all-time dink and dunk, 33-10, because it looked like his arm was shot.
It did. And Cleveland just started condensing the field. They're like, you're not finna throw the ball over to anybody's head. We just finna play everything tight. You ain't even run anything but slants and shallow crosses. So we just go sit on it.
and they sat all day. and it looks like Ben, to me, could be sitting permanently because I'm just not sure they want to do this again. I'm not sure. Maybe they're stuck because they need a bridge. They need one more year of Ben just to get to where they want to go, depending on whether they went free agent or draft on the quarterback.
Yeah, but it needs to be a cheap bridge.
Yeah.
The 41 cap hit or the 25 million, it ain't gonna be that.
No.
I don't know if he can make more than $5. Skip, I don't know if they can give him more than $5 million.
Well, and yet he was asked about Mike Tomlin, and he completely defended Mike Tomlin. So there's no blame being directed at the coach.
Mike T not going anywhere.
Well, you know how they are with coaches. They stand by their man.
They don't, and look, the fans and all that other stuff rumbling, they allow Chuck Noll to stay as long as Chuck, and then Chuck said, okay, I'm out.
Yep.
Coach Kyle was like, stayed as long as he wanted to, and Coach Kyle had a couple lean years early. They're like, man, y'all better sit down up there. Mike Tomlin, Mike T's not going anywhere.
Yep. He even defended Coach Tomlin off the Cleveland loss, saying, we were prepared to win the game. You just can't turn it over.
Right.
Like the preparation didn't equal turnovers. Right. They were prepared and ready psychologically, mentally to play, and then they just turned the ball over.
Right.
Okay. So it's all about Ben, and it sounds like that the organization is leaning, to me, away from him.
Yeah, but Skip, there's only so many hits in a body. In an NFL body, there's only so many hits. Now, you know Big Ben is taking some punishment. You know, Ben was going to fight to the very last moment to try to throw the ball, Skip. You know, the credit's rolling, he's still talking. Yep. In other words, the defenders, he got 2 or 3 guys like a Lions on Wildebeest, and Big Ben is still going to try to slant, throw the ball.
What is Ben's off-field reputation? He has never been a workout warrior.
Yeah.
Our man Jay Glazer has had some fun with that because he hasn't been.
No.
And so do you expect him to be Tom Brady next? No, you can't.
No.
Okay?
No.
So good luck. This seems like a really rocky road, both team and quarterback.
So you leaning Ben's not coming back?
I'm leaning no.
Okay.
Oh, it's a weird ending if it really is the case.
No mercy.
All right, Michael Jordan and Tom Brady both have 6 rings, and both often receive praise for being the GOAT in their respective sports. MJ has more regular season MVPs, but Brady has more championship appearances than his heiress and could pass him in titles next week. Both have had their share of game-winning moments and come from behind victories as well. So, Shannon, I start with you. Who is more clutch, Michael Jordan or Tom Brady?
Skip, this is really hard because the sports are so different. And they're both team sports. But Tom Brady is so much more reliant on the defense and on the special teams than Michael is. So the only way I can equate it, Skip, I'm going to put it to you like this. I trust Michael Jordan's jump shot more than I trust Tom Brady throwing the football. I mean, that's the only way, because we haven't seen Tom have a walk-off where he throw in the Super Bowl, Skip, he throw the touchdown, and that's the ball game. And that's the difference, because he gets credit for a game-winning drive if Adam Vinatieri or Gostkowski or Suck-Up kicks the game-winning field goal. That's a game-winning drive. Tom Brady was clutch. And Jordan don't get credit for a game-winning shot if somebody else hits it. So for me, Skip, I'm going to have to, and it's tough because Tom Brady has been to 10 Super Bowls, and I think it's probably a little bit more difficult to do what Tom has done than Mike, for the simple fact is, football is one game. Just imagine you had to play, you got to win 4 games to win a Super Bowl. Yep. Jordan has to win 4 games, so he has a margin of error. Just think, if he had his first final, Skip, the Lakers beat him the first game. Well, if that was football, it's over. Magic's the champion. So that's the only way I can look at it, Skip. I'm going to trust Michael shooting the ball more than I'm going to trust Tom throwing the ball.
So you said this is really hard.
It is, Skip.
For me, this is really, 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 really hard. And I could go on the rest of the show with reallys, because that's how hard it is.
Right. Were you still covering the league when Tom won his first Super Bowl? Were you still covering the league like?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I was covering the Raiders.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I started with the Tuck Rule game, which I'm about to get to.
Okay.
So I can only sum it up like this. It's hard for me to say Brady is more clutch than Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
Right.
But Tom has been clutch more than Jordan had the opportunity to be clutch.
Yeah.
because he's just done it longer.
Right.
Mike's career, all told, was relatively short. The forced sabbatical for a couple of years, and then he quit prematurely in Chicago because his coach got fired. And he said, if he goes, I go.
Right.
And he stayed out, retired for 3 years at the backside of his prime. And then it was a little pathetic to see him come back. He still averaged 20 and 6 for Washington, but still, that's it. That Chicago, those 6 championships, 3, then 2 years off, and then 3, that's it.
Right.
Tom's been doing this for 20 years. So if you look at the scope of his consistent, classic clutchness, it's unequaled, it's unparalleled, and it doesn't get nearly enough credit because of what you said. There's no walk-off. There's no signature.
Right.
I saw a walk-off. Michael literally walked it off in Game 6 at Utah.
Right.
And he did it on both ends of the floor. He stole the ball from Karl Malone.
Right.
He stole the ball. Michael did that. And then Scotty's demanding the ball over on the right wing. No, I got this on Brian Russell. No, Scotty, you can ask for the ball all you want. I got this. I'm going to do a little subtle push here, and I'm going to hold the pose and rip it. And we're gone. We're gone home. Okay, well, I can't make that up. That's a fairy tale.
Right.
Okay, Brady has none of that.
Right.
Brady does nothing spectacular. Brady doesn't have highlight show highlights because he doesn't play like that.
Right.
I told you, sometimes the greatest genius is imperceptible genius, where it's beyond the naked eye genius, where he's
doing things that you just don't realize how special it is.
He is too great for his own good because he's not great. He's too perfect with his reads, his pocket feet, but it doesn't translate to highlight throws. So in the end, to your point, I guess if you push me to the brink and you say one shot or one pass for your life, I'll still take Jordan. but if you talk about one game for your life, I'm going to go Tom.
No. Hold on.
Game.
So
that's 4 quarters of game.
So you want to take Tom Brady over Mike in a game?
And especially one season for your life, the longer the expanse of time, the more I'm going to take Tom Brady.
I can't go with you with that one.
But think about what happened. I'm sitting in the press box on January 19th of 2002 covering the Raiders, and I thought they were really good. It's John Gruden's Raiders they would go under Bill Callahan the next year to the Super Bowl. But I thought they were a Super Bowl-looking team at this point. So I picked him to win this game against this 6th-round pick in his first year of starting. And I had overlooked the fact that 6th-round pick was 11-3 as a starter after he took over for Drew Bledsoe, who was 0-2 at that point. And yet everything got marred that night by one play that happened, sort of mid-4th quarter, and it was the wrong call. It got overturned, and Tom fumbled the football, and it got reversed, and it saved the game because it wasn't mid-4th. It was actually like a minute and 50.
It was it was really late,
So my point
it was under the 2-minute warning.
Yes. So the point was that what got overlooked, what got obliterated was all the controversy of the Tuck rule. Meanwhile, in the second half, he's thrown for 238 yards in the snow. It's snowing cats and dogs up in Foxborough. He throws for 238 in the second half. And guess what he did in overtime? He goes 8 for 8 for 45 yards and sets up a chip shot field goal in the snow for Vinatieri.
That's what Aaron Rodgers was hoping for. He was hoping for that kind of game that Tom Brady got in New England against the Raiders.
I got it. But then he goes to the Super Bowl, and the numbers are pedestrian at best. But at the end of the game, they don't shut him down. They let him try for it, and he completes 5 straight huge passes to beat the St. Louis Rams. And the key one was the 4th pass because it went for 23 yards with 29 seconds left to set up a 54-yard field goal. Then he hits a 6-yard pass to Jermaine Wiggins, tight end like you. And that sets up a 48-yard field goal, and Vinatieri hits it at the buzzer, and here we go.
Skip, I just think the thing is when you look at it, Brady had a strip sack. Brady didn't play well against the Rams. And we've never, Jordan has had some games, but we've never seen Jordan get the ball taken away and they win the ball game because they took the ball away from Jordan.
But think about this. Mike, 6 rings with 6 MVPs in the finals. Brady, 6 rings with 6 game-winning drives in the fourth quarter or overtime. So there's no fluke in there. He pulled it off every time. No, he doesn't play defense the way Mike can play defense because the game doesn't allow it. But if we start to look at the AFC Championship games against Jacksonville, they're down 20-10 going to the fourth quarter, and he throws for 138 with 12 stitches in the palm of his throwing hand. And they come back and win that game. And then the AFC Championship game at Kansas City against Mahomes in the first big go-around, he converts 3 straight 3rd and 10s in overtime. That's impossibly great. And then the Legion of Boom in the Super Bowl, 124 yards passing in the fourth quarter and 2 touchdowns brings them back from 24 to 14 down. And then the Atlanta Super Bowl, 246 yards passing in the fourth quarter and overtime, but you can't remember a one of them.
Right.
You can't because there's no signature.
Right. And I think that's the biggest thing, Skip, is that as great as you mentioned all those stats in the Seattle Legion of Boom, it's known for Malcolm Butler's play.
Okay, I got it. I got it.
And
then you throw back at me the Rams. Boy, he barely pulled that out. Well, he still went 5 for 5 in a drive in the middle of the fourth quarter to win the game, to put them ahead 10-3 because it was tied 3-all. Okay, so he hit Gronk with a 29-yard pass that set up a 2-yard run for a touchdown that won the game. He did that. So you want to talk about clutchness on the grandest scale over an expanse of time? There's never been anything like this before.
Yeah, but see, the difference is, Skip, unless you're Magic Johnson, you're not getting credit for sitting guys up in basketball.
No.
Like the quarterback gets credit for game-winning drive if he sets the field goal kicker up and he kicks the field goal. Like you said, Aaron Rodgers got credit for a game-winning drive against the Cowboys, but Mason Crosby had to make a 50, you said an intergalactic.
He did.
Field.
Fought 2 of them.
He had to make
and I thought he missed both of them, but he didn't. So here's
but
the
I
other
can't
problem.
believe I can't believe
Wait,
you.
But here's the other problem with Brady. You underrate his clutchness because he doesn't look the part. He looks like, you know, that Progressive commercial now about the guy who's teaching people to buy their insurance not to turn into their parents.
Yes.
Well, it looks Brady's the guy who turned into his dad. You know, he acts like he's older than he is.
Right.
But he is the classic, he's the wolf in sheep's clothes because it's all sheep's clothes. Where you look at him, Michael Jordan just looked like a cold-blooded assassin to me when he got that look in his eye, but you never see Brady get that look in his eye.
I can't believe that you said with one game, if you got a game to win in football, you want Brady over one game to win in basketball.
I do. For 4 quarters, this guy is going to figure out a way to beat you.
Well, you know, Jordan going to score 100 if he needs to beat you.
I told you, one shot for my life, he can take it.
Oh, that's good.
Hey, look at the body of work. It's unparalleled. Nobody even talks. It doesn't get nearly enough credit.
I think the thing is, Skip, I'll give you credit. He's had more opportunities. Actually, Jordan has had more opportunities because you play more games. But when you look at
we're talking about playoffs.
Right. But I'm saying, but when you look at it, Skip, is that if Brady loses once, it's over. Somebody has to beat Jordan 4 times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got it. And remember, all these game-winning drives, all it takes is one little mistake, one little misdecision where you just pick the wrong guy at the wrong time and they pick it off. It ends the drive.
Or the guy, because see, here's the thing, Skip. He has to throw it, and you got to hope you don't get a situation like Nick Foles hitting Alshon, the ball carrying through his hands.
Okay.
Jordan take that shot, it's all him.
It's all him. No, I got it. Okay. So
I can't believe it.
Michael, I'm sorry.
You know, give me all your Jordan stuff. You got to turn it in. You got to turn in your Jordan stuff.
No, I can't.
Yeah, you can.
I said one shot for my life. He takes it.
You hold on. How many pictures you got a Brady throwing a pass?
None.
How many you got a Brady holding the poster, holding the trophy? None. Okay, how many pictures you got of Jordan with that shot?
I got a couple.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah. I got one big one that's on my wall.
Ernestine, take it down before you get home and put the Brady picture up.
We are not taking that picture down. Actually, I'll take that photo. That would be great. That looked hard for you, Skip. I feel like your face looks a little.
It's tough. It's not as easy as you think.
You know, it's hard when they're both so good.
But the right answer is Goat James. That's the right answer.
Yeah.
That's the guy.
Shannon,
Wait.
No.
The
he wasn't
goat
part
who
of the
played like a
conversation.
barnyard goat in the fourth quarter last night and went 0 for 4.
It happens.
Scored 0.
It happened.
Yeah, no, sorry. He doesn't get tired, though.
He don't get tired.
He does not get tired.
Big Saturday on FS1. WWE Backstage is back for a Royal Rumble special. Renee Young, WWE Hall of Famer Booker T, and Paige host a preview for one of sports entertainment's most exciting nights with exclusive Bucs guests and interviews. Plus, 2 huge announcements. Who will start the Women's Rumble match and what man enters at number 30. Find out on WWE Backstage this Saturday at 8/7 Central on FS1.
WWE Backstage returns for a Royal Rumble special tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern on FS1. Tune in to see Renee Paquette, Paige, and Hall of Famer Booker T as they reveal the coveted 30th spot in the Men's Royal Rumble. How about that? What are we tuning in to see? Good stuff. Good stuff. Looking forward to it. Well, yesterday marked the 25th anniversary of the Cowboys' last Super Bowl win. Yes, 25. Just last month, Jerry Jones again said, quote, "Do you have any idea how much I'd write a check for if I knew for sure I could get that Lombardi trophy?" Dallas currently has the 11th best odds to win next year's Super Bowl, according to Fox Bet Sportsbook. He has said it before, Shannon. Is Jerry most responsible for the lack of Super Bowls in the past 25 years?
Yes, he's the only constant. He's the common denominator. They've had different players. They've had different coaches. They've had a lot of different people. But the one constant is him. And therein lies the problem. Jerry Jones thinks his money can buy him a Super Bowl. He's looking for big names, Skip. Listen, when I look at the Cowboys over the last quarter century, the Cowboys are the Cincinnati Bengals and the Cleveland Browns with better uniforms and a larger fan base. That's what they are. Now, I wish I can tell you something different, but it's Jerry's fault because
No, you don't.
Yeah.
That's a lie.
Okay, you're right. You got me, Skip. Damn, you caught me in a lie again.
Yep.
Skip, here's the problem, though, is that Jerry has been around. In the beginning, when Jerry first got this thing in the first 5 or 6 years, Skip, they had 3 Super Bowls. So when Jerry comes out and he says year after year, this team is as talented as those Super Bowl teams, he sets the expectations because everybody said, well, hold on. If they're just that talented, those teams won 3 Super Bowls in 4 years.
Yep.
So we Gucci. And then all of a sudden, you miss the playoffs. You win 5 games. You go 7-9. You go 8-8. And they go, hold on, wait a minute, Jerry. You said those teams are just as talented. Well, those teams never went 4, 5-11. They never went 7-9 or 8-8. Mm-hmm. He sets the expectation, the unrealistic expectation so high that they're never going to be met. He always wants to be front and center. He's like, well, if I pay the most money for this one, and that's normally how it happens, Skip. You know, I bet if you go to Jerry's house, he has the most expensive curtains. He has the most expensive chandelier, the most expensive marble. That's fine.
I've been there, seen all that. Yep.
You go to Jerry World, they got the most expensive stuff in that stadium. That's fine.
Yep.
But it doesn't necessarily equate when you're trying to build a team that, okay, if I pay the most money for a quarterback, a running back, wide receiver, offensive line, this, it doesn't necessarily work like that. Coach Belichick proved it. Hell, he wasn't paying anybody. And they were winning Super Bowl after Super Bowl, Skip. So, yes, I'm placing this at the feet of Jerry Jones. He's the problem. And until that's resolved, which I don't see in the very foreseeable future, hope he has live another 100 years. And that means for another 25 years, they won't be in the Super Bowl. I love it.
You love it.
I do.
So, I'll give Jerry only this. Over his many years of owning and operating the Dallas Cowboys, he has always kept them interesting, often for the wrong reasons.
Yes.
We talk about the Cowboys nearly every day on this show because it's always something with that guy, Jerry Jones, because he's always saying something that offends you or often offends me. And yet, he is the constant. And as he said the other day, I think it's on his radio show, when you work for yourself, there's no firing him as in you, right?
Yeah.
Okay? You just got to change. He's got to change. He's talking in the third person about himself. And I will change. I can change. I'm not saying which way I'll change, but I will change.
So what?
But will you change your duties or your responsibility? No. So then we get the classic quote we've heard 100 times. I would write any check, which I believe you would.
Yes.
I'd write any check to win a Super Bowl. Well, unfortunately, there's a thing called the salary cap, so that excludes you writing a check to go win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, this is not an auto show. This is not a car show where you go bid the highest money, you get the car.
No.
You go get to write a big check and win to get the Super Bowl.
And the problem here is Jerry Jones will not pay with his own job, because if he would pay by sacrificing himself,
right,
I think they might have somebody. If he would go out and hire the best man available to be the brains of the football operation and to keep a distance from the players, as in oversee from above,
right,
with objectivity and distance, instead of Jerry wanting to rub elbows with all the players. Some call it jock sniffing. He did play football.
Yeah.
It's not like he's just a crazy fan.
Right.
He did play. He was a starting guard for a national championship team at Arkansas. But he likes to rub elbows with his stars. He likes to have them over for dinner. He likes to socialize with them occasionally. He loved him some Tony Romo. He's trying to get close to Dak, but Dak just said no, sorry. But he loves him some Zeke, and he overpaid Zeke. And then Jalen Smith, he loves him, and he overpaid him. And D-Law and Amari, he just glows about them. He speaks in poetry about them, and he overpaid every one of them. And now we'll see what happens with Dak. But the problem is, he had one dynamo coach, and it was his quote-unquote best friend from Arkansas, who really wasn't his best friend from his days as a Razorback. No. But Jimmy was a dynamo. And they actually worked great together. But it was finite, and it wasn't going to last.
Right.
Because Jimmy wanted all the credit, Jerry wanted some, and Jerry was never going to let Jimmy get away with consistently belittling him in front of staffers.
Yeah, exactly.
He's too proud. and he fired him.
He fired him
after 2 Super Bowls.
Back to back.
Okay. Yeah.
With that young team. You got to Skip, we're talking about Emmett and Troy. You're talking about 3 guys. Michael might have been 27. Yep. Emmett was probably 25, 26. Yep. Troy, 25, 26. So we're talking about they're around the age, slightly older than Patrick Mahomes, and they had won 2 Super Bowls. And Jerry fired him. Jerry bought let's say Jerry bought the Cowboys. It fluctuates. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to say on the high end, he paid 150. I've heard as low as 120, as high as 150. Let's just say by the time he won the 3rd Super Bowl in 95, they were worth $300 million. He's worth $300. Jerry Jones worth $8 billion. See, there's been no fallout. His value has increased, even though his teams have been terrible.
Yeah.
So Skip,
if you hit him in his pocketbook where he lives, then he would change.
Yes.
But he has no reason to change because they just get bigger and bigger. And bigger.
The value of his team is just increased. It's going through the roof.
It's the most valuable team in the entire world.
So Skip, what's the drawback? Okay, I'm not winning Super Bowls, but my team is more valuable, about $1 billion more than the Patriots. Okay. They won 6 of the last 15. So
it's far more valuable.
Yes. So what's the downside from doing it my way?
Okay. He does it his way because it's so much fun.
Yes.
To be the owner and the operator.
Yes.
So what did he do? He did say 500 coaches could win a Super Bowl with this team, and he picked the 501st coach, who was Barry Switzer, and they did. It took 2 years, but they won a Super Bowl.
Right.
Way to go. But then after that, he started picking puppet coaches, and he picked a whole bunch of them until he finally said, okay, I give up. I picked Bill Parcells. But Jerry didn't fire himself from GM, and he finally ran off Bill Parcells because Jerry wanted T.O., he wanted box office, and Parcells wanted nothing to do with Terrell Owens. Remember that? Mm-hmm. And that was their falling out point. So they went 10-6 the first year under Parcells, then 9-7 and 9-7. It didn't work because Jerry was right in the middle of it. And then we went to Jason Garrett, and it was 8-8 and 8-8 and 8-8, and he became like a son to Jerry until he finally said, okay, I got to give this up, and I'll go hire, a made man, Mike McCarthy. And I have no idea what happened last year because Mike McCarthy was unimpressive to me. And I already conceded to you, you might be right. He might have been a product of Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre in Green Bay.
When you look at the thing that Jimmy did, there was separation between church and state.
A little bit. A little. Enough.
Could you imagine a player going behind Jimmy's back and telling Jerry that something Jimmy's doing, and then Jerry bringing that to Jimmy?
There was that separation.
Yes, that's what I mean. So now, if a player has a problem with a coach, he just go right upstairs to Jerry and talk to Jerry.
I agree.
Yep. You can't have that, Skip. Okay. You take all the coach's power.
So right now, and for many years in this league, there have only been 2 owners who operated as the GM, and the other is Mike Brown, in Cincinnati, but Mike Brown is the son of one of the greatest coaches / GMs in the history of this league, Paul Brown, the great Paul Brown.
He grew up around football. I mean, that's the only thing he ever knew.
I got it.
He don't know anything else but the Browns.
Mike Brown, not known for spending huge money.
No, he didn't spend no money.
He took over in 1991. Since then, Cincinnati is 0-7 in the playoffs.
Right.
0-7 in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Okay, so what does he have to show for his ownership / GM-ship, right?
Skip, but we expect that from Cincinnati.
Okay.
You don't expect that from the Cowboys. I mean, but you think about the Cowboys. The Cowboys 4-10
in
the playoffs.
Yeah. Okay. Since
that time.
Yes. Okay.
Skip, that's okay. That's not good. Skip.
If you told me 25 years ago that the Dallas Cowboys wouldn't even play in an NFC championship game in the next 25 years, I would have laughed in your face. But they have not. And in fact, they haven't even come close.
Anybody that was around football in the 90s will tell you, had Jimmy stayed in Dallas, they were going to be the Patriots before the Patriots became the Patriots. Mm-hmm. That's what he was. People don't realize how good the Cowboys were.
Is Robert Kraft the GM of the Patriots? No. Who is the GM? It's the coach.
Mr. Kraft is perfectly fine at that time what it was Commissioner Paul Tagliabue. Now it's Roger Goodell. He's perfectly fine getting on the stage the first Sunday, second Sunday in February, and having the commissioner hand him the trophy.
Yep.
That's his role. He's fine with that.
Okay.
Jerry is not fine with it.
No.
Jerry needs a TV show. Jerry needs a radio show. Jerry needs to say the first word to the team. He needs to say the last word to the team.
He would tell you, that's why I own this team.
Yes.
This is my life. I have fun doing this. I want to be the star of this show.
Yeah.
And as star of this show, that means you're not going to have a Super Bowl to show for since Barry Switzer.
Right.
And finally, you win in this league with a top-tier quarterback.
Yeah.
So he put all his eggs in the basket of an undrafted free agent named Tony Romo, who could only take you so far. But he was great box office because it was a roller coaster ride because you didn't know what you were going to get.
Right.
5 touchdowns, the classic Peyton game, 506 yards, and a late interception that lost the game.
That doomed you.
Okay? And then we go forward with a 4th-round quarterback in Dak Prescott, who's edge of the top 10. He might be 10 somewhere. But is he ever going to be Patrick Mahomes or Deshaun Watson? No. So if you don't have that guy, Troy Aikman was that guy.
Right. Troy was the number 1 pick in the draft.
He was. Okay. Bingo.
But Skip, you got to understand, what Jimmy did, Jimmy came out of college. So all these guys, Jimmy knew because Jimmy had tried to recruit him at the University of Miami. So he knew about Emmitt Smith. He knew about Russell Malley. He knew about all these guys. He knew about Woodson, who went to Arizona. So he knew about all the really good players. That was like, man, that guy could play. Like, I believe if you gave Coach Saban another opportunity, and he had a great quarterback, he would be better this time around because all the guys that he's recruiting to go to Alabama, he knows they ended up going to Georgia or Ohio State, all of this. He like, oh yeah, that guy, let me grab him.
Yep, you're right.
But Jerry want to be the show, Skip.
Yep.
He ain't good with just being P.T. Barnum, having the greatest show on turf. He want to be the ringmaster.
He wants to be the ringmaster. And that means he's fun to talk about, and we'll have fun talking about him every day of the year, probably through the whole offseason, and there's no Super Bowl.
But you won't be talking about the Super Bowl weekend. No. You won't be talking about. Can you imagine what Jerry would be like, Skip?
No.
Can you imagine what Jerry be? Jerry be on everybody's show.
Everyone's show all day, every day. Quotes all around. It has been a long 25 years for Jerry. It's been a long 25 years for Skip. I don't have a solution for you guys. Better luck next year.
No mercy.
Super Bowl 55 could be a make-or-break game for Patrick Mahomes' career, according to Tony Romo. The former Cowboys QB who will be calling the game said, quote, "This is the biggest game Patrick Mahomes will ever play in for the rest of his career. If he loses this game, he cannot catch Tom Brady." Fox Sports NFL analyst Michael Vick is now joining us. So, Mike, that's quite the quote from Tony Romo. Do you agree?
Yeah, it's a little saucy, but, when I think about it in totality, man, and Tony dove deep into this one, I didn't think about it to this magnitude. I think he's right, though. And it's all of what Patrick Mahomes wants. You know, if he wants that GOAT status, I think he's already had a successful career up until this point by a lot of standards. But, you know, if he wants to surpass that GOAT status, I think it'll be important for him to win this game in order to get there. He closed the gap, and then he only got to get 4. If not, Tom Brady, well, he has 7. And then, you know, it's a huge gap there. And then you're talking about having to keep Andy Reid, having to go to Super Bowls and winning them. You know, Tom went to, 10, 11, if I'm not mistaken. Too many to count. But, you know, he won some and lost some. And then those years started to add up. And even though, you know, diets are different, guys have nutritionalists, and it's, you know, it's a different day and age in terms of training. Guys play longer, which will give Patrick the opportunity to, you know, fulfill that, you know, if he wants to get that GOAT status. But, you know, you still got to have Andy Reid in attack. And even though I think he could operate in any offense, if you don't win this one, it just becomes a much more difficult task. But it's all in personal preference for Patrick and what he wants. I'm pretty sure he wants to be the greatest ever. Who don't? And this is a big stage for him. This is a great opportunity to move in that direction. And if it happens, you know, then we'll be talking next year about three-peating and you know, the status that puts you on that elite level in the upper echelon. So I'm excited for, you know, Patrick and what's in front of him, but the ultimate test is defeating TB12.
So let me ask you this. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, Tony said if he doesn't win this one, what happens if he wins this one? He wins next year. He three-peats. Has he passed Tom Brady? Tom Brady never three-peated.
No. Yeah, it's a long way to go. We got to look at the long haul. It's about longevity right now, man. Look, we got to take it 1 year at a time with Patrick.
But that's not what Tony did. Tony didn't take it 1 year. He said this is final.
I understand what Tony's saying. It's going to be difficult to catch Tom. I mean, that'll be 7 Super Bowl rings versus 1.
But hold on. But you say let it play out. So hold on, Mike. But Mike, you're saying that if he doesn't win this game, Patrick Mahomes' career is over. He retires with 1 ring.
No, I didn't say that. I say he's already had a successful career.
No, but so let me ask you a question. But so
you win 1 Super Bowl, that's a success. Now we talking about achieving GOAT status.
Okay. But here's Mike. He's only been in the league 4 years. So who's to say he doesn't go on and win 4 more? So let's just say, for the sake of argument, he's 5-1 in Super Bowl with 3 or 4 regular season MVPs.
I'm talking about the things that has to happen in order for him to win 4 more. Got to have Andy, I think. It's imperative. Come on, we can't deny that. Got to have Tyreek, got to have Kelsey.
Yeah. Tyreek is 26 years of age. Kelsey, I believe Kelsey has some more years. My thing is that when Tom Brady, so why would a loss ding Patrick Mahomes, but 3 losses hasn't dinged Tom Brady? Just answer me that.
Well, we talking about GOAT status, man. We talking about getting the GOAT status.
Well, Montana got no dings.
He's saying he's not going to catch Tom Brady.
But I'm just saying, Joe Montana has no dings. He's 4-0, didn't throw an interception. I'm asking Tony Romo, if a loss is going to hurt, is going to do irreparable harm to Patrick Mahomes, why hasn't 3 losses?
Harm to his career, it's not going to do. I just said, Shannon, that his career is already a success. It's already a success. He won a Super Bowl. I haven't won a Super Bowl. I can name Dan Marino never won a Super Bowl. There's plenty of guys who haven't won one. He's already won one. He's accomplished. Now we talking about ascending to greatness.
Right.
That's what we watching at Patrick Mahomes. We got to sit back.
I think something's getting lost in translation between you and I. Because my thing is, Mike, is that you're saying that a loss is going to ding him. Tony Romo says a loss is.
I'm responding to Tony, but Tony.
But you agreed with Tony. You agreed with him. Did you agree with Tony?
Don't win this. Hey, Skip, I know we're going a little long, but, you know, just.
It's okay. He's hard-headed.
Okay, let me ask you a question. You are agreeing with Tony, correct?
I agree with Tony, yes.
Okay, then. So I'm asking you this. If a ding will harm Patrick Mahomes, why hasn't 3 dings harmed Tom Brady? That's all I'm asking.
Okay, because
still
he
got
wasn't
6.
Patrick Mahomes.
Because like he still got 6, regardless of what.
So who's to say Patrick Mahomes won't get 5?
Well,
I'm not saying he's not going to get 5. I just said as long as he got Andy Reid and look, Shay, hold on, Shay. I even said if he operate in another offense, I still think he's more than capable of doing it. I also said in terms of nutrition and working out, longevity it's there for him. A 17, 18-year career.
We're going to circle back. Skip, go ahead and take it away, Skip. I know you chomping at the bit. Go ahead, Skip. Take it away.
Allow me to step back from this and say, I love Tony Romo as a broadcaster far more than I did Tony as my quarterback.
He might be better at that.
He's very good at what he does. He is paid lots of money to entertain us, to enlighten us during the telecast, and also to promote his game. So he is promoting by being very provocative here. I'm not even sure Tony believes he wants to go that far, but he did.
Right.
And yet, I will give him this much. He's basically saying that to even qualify for the eventual GOAT debate that he could enter, that he needs to beat Tom head-to-head at this point because he's presupposing, I believe Tony's presupposing this is going to be Brady's last Super Bowl. So just to be able to say, I beat him head-to-head, even though he's 43 and it's in his first year with a team that a year ago went 7-9, that would at least qualify him for eventual participation in maybe a GOAT debate. That's what he's saying. But if you lose to Brady now, it will always stain your reputation because you lost to Tom Brady when he was 43 and he was with a brand new team that wasn't very good a year ago. Okay,
right. But they're good. To get in the Super Bowl, you got to be good.
Okay,
You don't accidentally get there.
Okay, but remember, Patrick Mahomes took over a team that had been to the playoffs 3 straight times, that already had Tyreek and Kelsey. And to your point, you say, were they that good? Well, they weren't that good, but they were coming. They were rising.
Yeah, they were good players.
Okay, so he's going to step on the field a week from Sunday evening. He'll have the 2 best receivers on the field. He will be favored to win and probably should win this game against that team that could be just happy to be there playing as a team in its first home Super Bowl.
Would you feel that way if Tom Brady was operating without his 2 starting? If Donovan Smith and Tristan Wirfs
That's a big loss.
Out? Okay, because that's what Patrick Mahomes is under. His 2 starting tackles are going to be out.
But I'm just telling you, he has 2 receivers better than any single receiver that Tom will play with.
You need protection to get on the ball, though.
Okay, I got that. Where I go south on this whole discussion is that you're presupposing Brady won't be back. He's going to play at least 2 more years, and I'm not going to bet against him to get back to at least 1 more Super Bowl because I think they might be favored next year to win the NFC going into the year.
I believe it will.
Because that whole team is starting to come of age around what will be a 44-year-old quarterback who to me shows no sign of decline whatsoever. I think his arm might be even stronger than ever. Okay, so what do I know so far from Patrick Mahomes? Well, I get a little offended that he's even entering the discussion yet because you got big wow factor with the MVP. But if you look hard at his performance last year in that Super Bowl, by his standards, it wasn't very good. 2 interceptions, 1 late 3rd quarter, 1 early 4th quarter when they trailed 20-10. 1 play that he got away with on 3rd and 15 that he threw basically a punt pass to Tyreek, who had to come back and wave for a fair catch, and it was 44 yards that saved the game. And then if you're not playing Jimmy G in the 4th quarter, who's going 3 for 11 for a grand total of 36 yards plus a pick, plus missed Emmanuel Sanders at the goal line with 1 minute and 40 seconds left, what could have been the winning touchdown pass, you don't survive that game.
But, Skip, you're judging Patrick Mahomes by only Super Bowls. Brady didn't become GOAT by just only playing in Super Bowls. It's AFC Championship game, it's divisional, it's wild card. You look at what Patrick Mahomes has done in his playoffs. He's 17 total touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Look at last week. Was that not a GOAT-like performance?
That was his best game that he's played.
Look at what he did against Tennessee. Look at what he did against the Houston Texans. Even in his first playoff game against Tom Brady, his second playoff game in the AFC Championship game, he was spectacular. So we just can't look at it in a vacuum and say, okay, because he threw 2 interceptions in the Super Bowl, that's going to disqualify him. Tom Brady built up this resume, playoffs and Super Bowls.
Okay. But it's almost like we're rendering. Go ahead, Michael.
No, regardless of what, this won't tarnish Patrick Mahomes' image in terms of, just his overall game in any way. I think if he don't win this Super Bowl, he's going to have plenty more opportunities, just like Tom had to win some and lose some. He just won more than he lost. Could be the same for Patrick. So, even though he's going up against Tom at 43 years old, it don't matter. We still got the best of the best going head to head.
Okay, I want to ask both of you. Are you saying you don't think Brady will ever get back to another Super Bowl?
Oh, no, I'm not going to say that.
I'm not saying that at all. I think they're more than capable of getting back next year. They're going to be even better next year. Yeah. With OTAs and
I told you that, Skip. I thought
they're going to be even better next year.
I told you like midway through the season, I'm not picking them this year, but I'm definitely picking them next year because I thought they would be like what Denver was with Peyton, is that the first year they were really good, and then the next year they took off. I believe they were going to take off. They're ahead of schedule.
Wait a second. Time out.
You just got to retain Brian Leftwich. He could be be a head coach somewhere real soon.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Okay, but next year, Shannon Sharpe is going to pick a 44-year-old quarterback that he said 4 years ago should call it a day and go home.
Yeah, because I'm picking the pieces that are around him. You look at what he you look at what he has around him. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Gronk says he wants to come back. Cameron Brate, we'll see how O.J. Howard looks after that Achilles. Skip, the offensive line is only going to get better. The offensive line is only going to get better. Tristan Wirfs was a rookie, and D. Lyman caught the Dickens getting past him. He ain't going to get worse as a second-year player. He's about to be a Pro Bowler for a long time.
Neither is number 12 going to get worse.
I say this. It could be this year or in the next 2 years, like Skip said, because Tom's definitely going to play another 2 years after this, and rightfully so.
I don't know.
He'll get to 7.
After my homeboy.
He'll get to 7, so everybody be chasing 7 for the next 30 to 40 years.
After my homeboy throw for about 475, he might call it a career.
Can I get some due on that?
You know,
you do know. Oh, we all right. Skip. We're going to talk about this.
No, I'll put due on 400 plus.
No, it's going to be 700 yards total, passing yards between those two quarterbacks.
Really? Huh.
Yeah, 700 plus.
Shannon, the bottom line to this discussion is the GOAT is uncatchable.
Oh, we going to catch him?
No.
Oh, you catch a goat? Me and my brother used to catch goats. My grandfather had a couple. We used to go in the backyard to catch
those guys.
Yeah, we catch a goat.
No mercy. So Tom Brady may have a bigger advantage than home field in the Super Bowl. The Buccaneers are slated to wear their white jerseys while the Chiefs will be in red. Brady is only 2-2 in the Super Bowl while wearing darker jerseys, but he's 4-1 while wearing white jerseys. Shannon, I'm very curious how you feel about this. Is this a big deal or no big deal?
This is no deal, Skip. It ain't a jersey, it's the mofos in those jerseys. Because, Skip, you remember when the Lakers were going to close out, what did the Lakers put on, Skip? We put the Mamba jersey on. Oh, Mamba. You don't play well, you get beat. Jerseys, tank tops, skin, shirt, it doesn't even matter, Skip. You better play your best game. Basically, all it is. Kansas City's the home team. They get to wear their home reds. The Bucs are the visitors. They got to wear road whites. That's the way it is. I was the home team once in San Diego. We played the Packers. We were in the new uniform, the blue and the orange. A road team twice, we won. Skip, it's about how well you play. I can promise you, Skip, I wouldn't think about, oh, man, we in the home jersey. Oh, yeah, it's going to be on. Oh, we in our road jersey. Only thing I care about, I looked over there to my right. I think it's on the right side. I saw Super Bowl 32. That's all I care about. I care about that swatch and where I am. I don't care about the jerseys that I'm in. So maybe for some, but for me, I didn't even think, it didn't even dawn on me that we wear the different colored jerseys. I mean, the white jersey, because I understood what it was. If you're the home team, you get a home jersey, you're the road team. I've been in a situation, Skip, where we've been the home team and the visitors made up because we forgot to bring the road jerseys. We had to wear the home jerseys. So we had a home game, San Diego, it was San Diego at the time. They made us wear road jerseys for a home game. So, and we still mop the floor with them. So it doesn't matter, Skip. It's all about how you play that given day.
By the way, that night in the Mamba jerseys, the closeout night, you got the operative color was green because you got Danny Green, right?
Yeah, Daddy. And you see him the other night? He couldn't miss a 3. He coming out on fast break, pulling up.
You never know. You can get good Danny or really bad Danny. Now, for my answer to this, with all my heart and soul, as you know all too well, to a fault, I believe in good luck charms and jinxes.
You do.
And I believe many of the Buccaneers believe in the good luck charm that has been the road white jersey. They went 9-2 on the road. So they feel better in their road jersey at home because it'll make it feel like the home away from them. The psyche is all mixed up because they did not play very well at home. So they want to undercut their inability to play at home with their road jersey.
Well, normally, Skip, what happens when you play in the South, Jacksonville, Miami, Tampa, they would make visitors early in September, October wear their home jersey. We're going to put you in these dark uniforms and let that sun cook you while you're out there.
Okay.
And we wear the light color uniform to reflect it.
All right, but now the white jersey is the road jersey, and they went 6-2 during the regular season on the road, and then they won 3 straight playoff games on the road. And as I told you all year long, I was nervous for them at home, and I don't know why. I can't explain it, but something got in their heads. We don't play that well.
Oh, well, you home now, Skip.
Yeah, no, but in road jerseys to make you feel like you're away home.
But you've been sleeping in your own bed. BA said that was going to be the advantage that you got.
But it's what you believe. If you don't believe it, that's good for you. If I believe it, it's good for me.
Right.
So you've heard of magic carpets before?
Yes.
I hold in my hand right now the magic jersey.
Oh, my goodness, man.
This is the reason. This jersey right here is the reason, if I could hold it up, this is the reason that Tom Brady is playing in his 10th Super Bowl. This jersey got him there because
that ain't the white one.
I didn't wear, I know it's pewter, but it doesn't matter because it worked for me. And I didn't call upon it every game. I was very judicious in my selections. And when I didn't need it against Washington at Washington because I thought they should win that game. So I didn't resort to it. But at New Orleans, you better believe I went for it. And at Aaron Rodgers, boom, I wore it.
Okay.
So I got it? Yeah. Both ways. This is
magic. Turn the fan up high so I can blow it off.
Yep. Yeah.
All the notes, Shannon.
All my notes are. Because I believe in it, and I believe in jinxes because they're true. They happen.
They ain't true, man.
I told you, the classic was in that AFC Championship game at Kansas City. I told Ernestine, just leave me be. I don't care. It's just 3 hours. Just don't open the door. And she opened my door of my room where I watch the games by myself. Sometimes Hazel is in or out, but if Hazel starts with me, she has to finish with me because if I'm winning, Hazel can't go pee. You know, she can't. She can't.
You hold the dog hostage. You ought to be ashamed.
I held her hostage through the whole Aaron Rodgers game.
You ought to be ashamed.
She wanted to go pee so bad, and I said, no, you can't. You got to stay with me. But the door opened, and at that very moment in that AFC Championship game, remember what Tom Brady did from the 1 yard line? From the 1 yard line, he threw it to Reggie Ragland. Do you remember that?
I do.
He raised right up and threw it right to a linebacker, hit him right in the breadbasket. And I said, you did that to me. And she said, I controlled a game that's like 3,000 miles away.
Exactly.
Yep, you did. You had impact on it.
So that's what happened is that, the Bucs say, you know what? I believe Skip got on our lucky jerseys today. Yep. So you know what, guys? We need to go out there and win this one for you.
Yep. And again, it bothers me a bit that it's not a white jersey, so I'm going to have to really think hard about that. Do I expose them to the pewter jersey while they're in white at home? But it is a home jersey, so maybe it'll work. I'm pretty sure I'm going to wear it, and I'm pretty sure
I'm going to wear me a jersey, too. I would think I'm going to get my nephew's jersey.
Yeah.
Kelsey. I'm going to 87. Yep, that nephew.
Yeah, he's coming for you also, right? Mm-hmm. All of your records and marks. He broke one of them the other day, didn't he?
Yeah, well, he
the first half or something like that?
And people was tweeting at me, man, I didn't know you was that good. I was okay.
How quickly they forget.
I'm like, yeah, I was okay. I mean,
I know, I love
Tom,
that.
I got your back.
When the broadcast said
this
it,
is the reason Brady's in the Super Bowl.
That's the reason why. That's the reason
right here. Yep.
Can we give some love to Ernestine for putting up with your antics?
Yes.
Because what on earth? The door is shut. She can't come in for 3 hours.
Would.
Hazel.
Hey, Ernestine, next Sunday, I want you to go in there about 7:30, open the door and slam it.
Interception. Involved in this.
Game over.
No one wants to be involved in that. Superstitious over there.
No mercy.
Tomorrow, Caleb Plant, the man who many are saying will be boxing's next can't-miss superstar, defends his perfect record and super middleweight title against Caleb Truax in a primetime boxing event tomorrow night on Fox. Well, the Lakers dropped their second straight road game last night, 107-92 to the Pistons. LeBron led the team in minutes in the back-to-back and went scoreless in the fourth quarter, in which he played 10 of the 12 minutes. After the game, LeBron said he doesn't get tired and has felt great. Before the season started, though, guys, you went at it several times on how much LeBron would load manage this season. So, Shannon, are you concerned that LeBron is really not taking any games off yet?
No. LeBron spends an awful lot of money. He spends an awful lot of time. He knows his body better than anybody. He's also playing a career low, slightly above 33 minutes, 33.1 minutes per game. And plus, Skip, he knows how to manage his time when he's on the court. LeBron understands when to pick the pace up, when to slow the pace down. So he does a great job of doing that, of resting while he's on the court, even though, he's playing a ball game, if you can believe that. It's hard, it's kind of oxymoronic that he's resting while playing a game, but he understands how to give maximum effort in spurts when he absolutely needs to turn it on. He does that. He also knows how to conserve energy. It's kind of like with these cars now, Skip, you get to the light, get to a stoplight, and it cut itself off automatically. It's car still going, but it's just, we're going to conserve gas. So that's what LeBron does. LeBron has found a way. As a matter of fact, he did that.
He invented it?
He invented that, the echo system, to be able to give you maximum effort, but when you need to, shut it down, shut it down.
The engine just automatically idles. It just sort of goes back.
And then when a light turns green, put your foot on gas.
First time that happened to me, I thought, my car did
I thought the same thing. I said, man, they done sold me a piece of you know what? You know what?
I don't like it.
It was, Skip, look, I'm not going to get overly concerned with this. LeBron James will be just fine. There'll be times, I'm sure. Do I believe he's going to play all 72, Skip? I do not. But I just believe right now he's just trying to work out some of the chemistry issues that he have with some of his new teammates. But I do believe, say, in the next 10 games, he'll probably take 1 or 2 of those games off.
So I'm going to remind you of the preseason hysteria around LeBron James, and everybody was saying, he might not even play half the games the first month of the season, and somebody across from me vouched for that.
Me.
Right?
Yep.
Might not even play half the games.
Yep.
Cherry pick, that was the term LeBron used on the shop. He told Maverick Carter, I might cherry pick, and we're sort of extrapolating, well, what, half the games? So this team is now, we're past a month into the season, and this team has played 20 games, and LeBron James has missed 0. He's played all 20 games. Really? He is Iron Man. I give you that. He had one little glitch of an injury his first year in L.A., a groin pull, and it cost him a bit, and then you said he never quite got right after that.
He didn't get right.
But whatever. Shannon, he is on a dangerous pace because I know he's career low 33 minutes. I get that. But if you look at 5 of the last 6 games he's played, here we go. He's going crazy. He's going over the edge. He's played 5 out of 6, 38 minutes, 38, 38, 39, last night 36. That's too many minutes.
And that got him to 33. So we were playing like 30 minutes that night.
It's too many too soon. You know it, and I know it.
We good.
What is he doing? He is
playing basketball.
He's not chasing Michael Jeffrey Jordan. He's chasing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
We're playing basketball.
No, you're trying to eclipse Kareem's
you know what I noticed, Skip Bayless? You never say anything when Tom Brady throw 1 touchdown, throw 1-yard touchdown passes. You don't say anything about he chasing Drew Bledsoe trying to get the all-time touchdown record. You don't do that. You say he just plays football.
About numbers. He cares about the 10 Super Bowls.
That's what my guy cares about. He cares about getting another ring.
So,
make it 5.
As we speak, LeBron is this many points behind Kareem, 3,638 points. So he needs to play every night and hit around his average of 26 a night to stay on pace to eclipse him.
Oh, you're going to eclipse him.
Okay, if he stays, I'm going to knock on wood for him. He obviously has to stay healthy.
We got it.
But there's pay me now or pay me later. And he's paying now because he's paying with too many minutes too soon because they didn't have a lot of offseason. Obviously, it turned right back around, and you kept saying, no, they got to wait till MLK Day. And I said, no, watch them. They got to get their money back. And they started on December 22nd. That was his first night.
And now they're thinking about an All-Star game in Atlanta to get to appease the advertising and the TV contract.
All right. So you told me that you thought his legs got a little tired in the fourth quarter.
I did.
He said, our legs got tired, but then he said, I never get tired. So to me, he was throwing team under bus. Don't look at me. I didn't get tired.
Well, I look at him when you say our, I'm looking at him as our.
Okay, but then he reiterated, I don't get tired.
Well, Skip,
I take care of myself.
It's like when I say, man, when you used to ask me after the game, what happened? Well, we didn't play well. It wasn't, I played well, and the rest of the team didn't play well. We didn't play well.
Okay.
I'm a part of we. I look at LeBron as a part of being our. Our legs got heavy. We just played a back-to-back.
And I look at what he said as, don't include me in that got tired.
I'm including him in that. But don't
we
you worry about it.
lost our legs. And Shannon says, no, LeBron, you lost your legs.
They did. And guess what? We're going to have them same legs. We'll have them legs revived for Boston tomorrow night.
Okay, I'm sure they will be for that game because it's a national TV game and he will take it up to his highest level. And I'm sure he will get his body as right as it can be before that game. But it's relentless. And you know how this schedule has been this year. It's just like bam, 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 bam. It's just like,
it ain't if you're lucky, you get 2 days in between the games. More times than not, I mean, you look at 7, they probably play 7 games, Skip, in 10 days.
Okay, I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to give some sage advice to LeBron James. You should back it off. That game last, I know AD had some quad. I don't know. I think he just load managed and said, I can't go. So I can't begrudge LeBron going if AD can't go at Detroit. But Detroit, I circled as one. You should miss that game if you're in year, what are we up to, 18?
You ain't try. LeBron don't want no help. I told him, I said, man, I thought you was going to be fighting the bear. He say, if you see me fighting the bear, LeBron told me to pour honey on him.
Really?
Yeah. Pour honey on him and help the bear. I said, but the bear go. He said, nah.
You know what? The bear won last night.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. But we got something for you.
The bear won?
The bear won, disguised as a piston.
Oh, my gosh. See?
Your day coming.
Skip, you are making me laugh today.
Your day coming.
Good sign. All right.
No mercy.
Rams quarterback Jalen Ramsey is doing his best to get Deshaun Watson to L.A., despite Jared Goff remaining under contract for several more years. Now that it's being officially reported that Deshaun has requested a trade from Houston, Ramsey commented on an Instagram picture of the quarterback. Ramsey said, quote, looks like an L.A. man. To be honest, Shannon, is this inbounds or out of bounds for Ramsey to pose?
Well, Jalen Ramsey, I call him Ram. Ram is taking his cue from his coach and his general manager because this is what his head coach said. Wouldn't commit to Jared Goff being the starter next year. Les Snead said this week, Goff is a Ram at this moment. So Jalen is anticipating Jared Goff not being on the team, so it won't matter that he said this. I wouldn't have said it, Skip, because he's still currently on the team.
He is.
And if he's on the team when we get back, he's going to be looking at me side-eyed.
I would say so.
I wouldn't have said it. But
okay, which is why, to me, this was so out of bounds, it made me feel sorry for Jared Goff. I realize coach and GM didn't exactly give him a vote of confidence, but Jalen is one of the 2 best players on this team.
Yes.
He's a team leader. He did not play his best game against Devontae up at Lambeau Field. And now he publicly sold out Jared Goff, saying we got to go get Deshaun, which is fine. Obviously, Deshaun's better than Jared Goff, but come on, he's your teammate. That was just so low.
Ex-teammate. It seems like it's going to be his ex-teammate, Skip, because with the general manager and the coach, they just paid this man a ton of money, and they already talking about you like this in past tense.
Yeah, I thought things were messy in Houston. I guess they're getting pretty messy in L.A. as well. That is it for Undisputed. Great stuff, guys. We're back Monday, same time as always. Have a good weekend.